This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Where the fun begins.
Are you ready for some football?
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the AFC East Shakedown here on the Sports Dynasty Network this week. Salute to everyone. We got our compadres in the building. We want to welcome them for the very first time on Sports Jedi Network. We're going to go through the room here. Of course, Chef Dan is joining me this evening as well. But first, let's say hello to the founder of the AFC Showdown, the one and only from the Mafia Sports Report. Tommy, good afternoon, good evening. How are you, buddy?
What is going on, man? Guys, happy Saturday to you. One more day until week 2 of football, and I need a better week for my Buffalo Bills. But, yep, that's it.
All right, and we're going to welcome for the very first time on our channel as well from the Ace of Head, Mr. Curtis. Salute, Curtis. How are you? Welcome to the channel.
Dude, I'm impressed with your video skills, man. I felt real professional when I saw the channel pop up, man. You're a real stud, man. I appreciate that, man. Great. Thank you. Glad to be on.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Love to get over there. Thank you. Now, a man who doesn't need no introduction, the one and only from the Sports Dynasty, Mr. Juan. Salute. What's going on, my Bronx fellow brother? What's up?
What's going on, everybody? I'm here to talk some football with my football family. AFC East Shakedown. Let's go.
Let's go indeed. And of course, my partner in the one and only Michelin star chef, Chef Dan. What's going on, Chef Dan?
Doing great. You can't shake off that 1-0 feeling, especially when you beat this guy right here. Great 1-0 feeling, division of victory. So let's get started on week 2.
Let's go. We're gonna recap week 1 first and foremost. Let's talk with the game that everybody I think wants to talk about. It's the New England Patriots taking on those Philadelphia Eagles in a really close game there. Juan, your thoughts of week 1 there, the way your New England Patriots came out 20-5 to 20 in defeat. Give me your thoughts. The good, the bad, and the ugly on that game.
Well, surprisingly enough, it took about a year and change for me to have actually something good to possibly look forward to. In the first quarter, probably everyone and their mother thought that the same old crap, the same old Patriot, the same old. But surprisingly enough, Mac Jones and company actually looked like they had a little bit of, dare I say, a little bit of dog in them. I will go as far as to say that. Actually claw back into the game. Mac made some significant throws to come back in this game. He did miss a few, unfortunately, as we'll talk about a little later. But the biggest surprise for me in this game was the offensive line. Just only having 2 out of the 5 starters on the line there actually held up as well as they can possibly hold up against the extremely ferocious Philadelphia defensive line, especially in their interior with Jordan Davis and all the. I can't believe they held up as well as they did, because those 2 kids they have inside there are freaking nasty. But unfortunately, they got theirs and really held up this Patriots offense going into the fourth quarter. Held up pretty well. this Patriots defense looked absolutely sensational. Really bottled up Jalen Hurts. What's been wrong with this Belichick defense for over a decade and change has been how they contain running mobile quarterbacks. And for the first time in a very long time, I actually saw the defense actually be fast enough to be able to contain a magnificent running quarterback in Jalen Hurts. So this defense, in a nutshell, has played extremely fantastic, especially a rookie who you would think it would be Christian Gonzalez, which is sensational in his own right, really holding back AJ Brown. But Keon White on that defensive line, oh my goodness gracious, this kid is going to be a freaking stud. Oh man, beating what you can say pretty unanimously is the best right tackle in the league in Lane Johnson, really giving him a run for his money. A rookie doing that, it's just wow. And that's just the first step for this kid to go crazy. Jawan Bentley is probably the unsung hero of this defense because he was running everywhere, really bottling up the run to the inside. And gotta give kudos to this magnificent game plan. I'm back on offense. Bill O'Brien, he showed you in the first game what he's made of and what difference he's gonna make in this Patriot offense. That's the good. The bad is that when it came down to it, nothing still really changed. For the most part, they couldn't make plays when they had to make plays. Like a rookie not getting his feet down twice, especially in the 4th and long, to really lose the game out. Mac Jones still missed a couple of crucial throws in the end, taking an unnecessary sack and that to force that 4th down. And the end of the game, there's still work to be done on this offense, but there is probably hope yet. So that's just, in a nutshell, that's what I will say in this game.
I wanted to ask you. I'm gonna go around the room with the same thing on your thoughts on the same question on the Patriots and Eagle game. But Mac Jones, 316 yards. Surprised? Not surprised for you, Juan?
I'm not as surprised as probably other people are, but I am a little surprised because of the fact that he probably was, him and Bill O'Brien were probably more responsible for really protecting himself from that ferocious Philadelphia line more than the offensive line was, even though I did give them their flowers. Getting the ball out quick, running on some great plays for Mac to just get rid of the ball. At early, he was feeling the pressure and having a little bit of happy feet. But as the game really went on, he really got comfortable and really just settled on some nice throws to really protect himself and was really throwing the ball down the field. His touchdown passes, really nice touch on his touchdown passes to Hunter Henry and both to Kendrick Bourne were absolutely sensational. I'm hoping that this is a good start for him to really show that he does belong in a conversation with maybe a top 15 quarterback spot that people just absolutely refuse and probably scoff at even having the idea of. But against this defense, I think he deserves at least a little bit of praise. At the very least, even his biggest haters can't really say much.
All right. Now I'm going to throw it over here to Curtis, because Curtis, we know that this week, looking ahead in week 2, you guys are going to face each other on primetime. My thoughts are you with the Patriots, the 25-20 loss to Philadelphia. Close game there. Are you impressed, or you think this is just work week 1 with Belichick, plenty of time to prepare, and Bill O'Brien, you believe in him and the factor? I know it's a little bit a lot there to convey, but
I've been studying him all week, man. I could go on this thing for a while, brother. Now, O'Brien, man, he's as valuable, if maybe not more valuable, than McDaniel to Tua. It's exactly what Mac Jones needed. He's going to respond very well. Huge difference. They should have won. They opened up with that stupid pick, but it was raining really hard. Then Elliott didn't fumble all year last year. And there was like a couple of, I can't recall, my brain isn't remembering, but there was like 1 or 2 more ridiculous things that happened that really slipped opportunities away. And then it was like the last quarter, they had that bad penalty for a hold. But when you take all that stuff away, I spent a lot of time analyzing the D-line. To me, White, he's very raw. He's only got the bull rush right now, although he had a nice rip and dip on the right tackle. And I liked what I saw, his ability to chase down Hurts on one play. And I was very impressed with Barmore because he was terrible in run defense. But you go back, and he was magnificent in his run defense. And that, along with his pass rush, and then with White being able to have the power plays and developing, is a serious asset for this team. I do think the Patriots, I believe the Patriots last year, but I didn't know how bad Patricia Bag Donuts was going to be. And they still almost made it if it wasn't for 2 or 3 bad decisions on their part. So I thought it was going to be, I think they're going to be really good. To me, they got to play old Bill ball. They don't make mistakes. They don't beat themselves at the other teams. And then there's injuries that's not in their control. I mean, you look, and it was Reef was out on IR. Strange was out, and they had and Onwenu was out, and they had Mafia and the other guy, City Sao. So they had only 2/3 of their 2/5 of their offensive line, and they still were able to do what they're able to do. So it's a critical game. They lose this week, it's going to be like a gutting, because they're going to be in a really big hole losing at home. But if they win this week, man, from what I've seen, I think this team is going to be real dangerous.
All right. I'm going to throw it over here to Mr. Tommy. We've seen there with the defense, the way they're playing well, and that offensive line with 2/5 of the out played well. Miami, we saw Miami. They're very fast. They're quick. Your thoughts on that game, and we'll talk about that matchup week 2 later, but your thoughts on the not Miami Dolphins, the Patriots and the Eagles. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but
yeah, that's all right. Listen, I said it last week. I told you the Patriots were going to be in games all season. That's what they do. Listen, Bill Belichick is one of the best coaches ever. He has his team always prepared. That you can never take that away from him. His defense is one of the best ever, like in football. Like he always has his guys to play. It's the offense that had me concerned going into that game, but I still thought that game would be close. And I said that. I told you guys it would come down to like a field goal or something like that. And it sure did. It came down to really, you won by a couple points. They won by it. It was super duper close. And really the Patriots had an opportunity to win that game. So it was a good showing. I thought Mac Jones started off bad, but he wound up finding himself late in the second quarter, midway through the second quarter, which is a good sign if you're a Patriots fan that, he didn't just, fall, put his head down and just really play bad for the rest of the way. So he actually found his way, and he also found Hunter Henry, which is a really good tight end. He really is a good tight end. So it's good to see that the Patriots offense is starting to show a little bit, a little bit more than what they did last year. They got a new OC. So it already is showing that the new OC is already making a difference in New England. So, but they still have an uphill battle to go on offense. Now, defense, I think they're going to keep them in every single game. It's just how their offense performs, moving forward. That's it. They just can't start off bad like they did. I think that the bad start is probably what led to them losing that game. Because if Mac Jones doesn't turn the ball over that quick, have that bad start, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe the Patriots wind up winning that game.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I'm going to throw this question. I'm going to throw it over to Chef Dan with the game, the Bills, the New England Patriots, and the Eagles. He 54 attempts, 34 out of 54 for Mac Jones. Do you see the New England Patriots pass heavy and sustainable to get victory? Because they didn't rush the ball too well. They had a little balanced attack. Elliott with 29 yards, 25 yards for Stevenson. Jones himself ran for 15. Montgomery for 7. Your thoughts there, knowing how the AFC East is it sustainable?
That was surprising.
Well, I want to attack that question from a different angle, because I know that it's not sustainable, but in the same note, what I also do know is that the Patriots are not going to face that every week. When I say that every week kudos to Howie Roseman and what he's done over there, because the Philadelphia Eagles have a different class of athletes. So when looking at that defensive line and how they get after people, how stout they are, like just the world class of athletes they are, you're not really facing that every week down in, down out in the NFL. So what the Patriots can do is go back to what they know they can do, is find expert ways that are somewhat annoying, but they're the safe and efficient way to manage the game and get it to a score and get it to an opportunity that you want and you control. That's always been Patriots football. So, because they're not the creme de la creme anymore, you see that when facing a team that literally just came from the Super Bowl, and right after that, a lot of people debated that the Eagles had potentially won the draft yet again. To come out and then you're facing that versus a brand new offensive coordinator that you're really starting to mesh with. Game one was always going to have its butterflies, always going to have its warts. But the good thing you can come away from this is knowing that you came and faced that class of this class of team with those class of athletes, that even though they lost a couple of coordinators, they're still a very good team. And you can come away with a good tape like that. It's dangerous for the Patriots because it's going to help them moving forward throughout the year.
All right, cool on that one. Before we move on to the next game, anything else you want to add that you saw that we missed here, or vice versa? Anyone else that saw anything in this game that we might have not picked up there, like the running game?
Well, you got to remember, man, they were down Onwenu, who's probably a top 5 lineman in the league. They had Alexander, who's like, Joe backup. And then they had Strange out, who's they spent a first round pick on. Your offensive line generates running backs, their production is generated through the offensive line. Yards before contact is a huge indicator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the interior specifically, when losing those two guys, it's just David Andrews on his own. So when they try to run up the gut, I don't even think they average 2 yards per carry in there because they only had rookies. So that kills everything they want to do, especially since we don't necessarily have guys on the running back core who can really hit the edge hard. They're much better downhill. So without good guards to block for them, especially against the Philadelphia defensive tackles, there's no success at all. I'm kind of a little mad. There's the nitpicking I could put for Bill O'Brien is that he kind of went into inside runs a little bit too much, and that just made waste of downs that happened. I think in the last drive he did that, and it cost a 3rd and long because he wanted to do an inside run with Ezekiel Elliott. We got stuffed right there because who do we have to block for him? No one. So with Onwenu, like Curtis said, with Onwenu and with Strange, we may have a different conversation, but without those guards running up the gut, it's something that we normally like to do that we cannot do right now, at least not against a team like that. So that's why it doesn't really surprise me that we couldn't run the football last week.
Well, I understand from that perspective with looking at them, but do you also think because you said you were mad at Bill O'Brien with that, but so at the same time, run blocking to be easier for those newer guys because as far as with pass protection, you're still waiting for those guys to come on to you. Do you think him calling that in the game plan wasn't like knowing it's not going to work? It still grinds on the defensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles, and hopefully, if you break at least 1 or 2 of those runs, you start to see some hope.
I will stand by what I said for 2 reasons. You already had your quarterback throwing over 50 times, so then what difference does it make at that point? And then 2, those defensive tackles, no matter what type of blocking we were doing, they're going to get through anyway. So at that point, we were already throwing to try and at least we were using the short pass to develop imaginary run game, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of just the reason why he threw 54 times. So at that point, just stick to it, especially instead of messing up a late game drive and causing an easy stop for the defense when we needed this drive to win the game. If you threw 54, just tack on the other 2 or 3 pass attempts instead of wasting a down, because you're literally wasting a down just handing off inside at that point. They already know what we're doing at that point, so just stick with it.
All right. So all in all, how do you feel week 1 going in for the rest of the season to set the tone? Even though despite loss, do you call week 2 must win, or you're okay with the rebuilding or kind of a minor rebuilding?
Well, judging how my expectations for this team isn't very high anyway, what I'm really hoping for is just a playoff appearance. But in that case, if we're hoping for a playoff appearance, this game tomorrow is pretty close to a must win. But it's still, if this makes any sense, it's still too early.
Yeah, I agree.
Because surprising people are still losing. So you don't know what's gonna happen 10 weeks from now. You know what I'm saying? Because from what we know, we play you guys next week. Let's say we win that one. Let's say we upset Dallas. You know what I'm saying? We played the Saints, who didn't look all that well for so far. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen. We still have game to play. It's too early. But you know, I know the stat. If you go 0-2, you got like a less than 20% chance to make the playoffs. Whatever. We'll see. It's a little too early to call. But a division game is more important than basically any other win. So we need to take them when we can get them.
Especially at home. I think that's the key.
Especially at home.
Aspect.
Agree.
Let's get Tommy here. He's been kind of quiet there, and he usually does a lot of talking when he hosts it. Tommy, we're seeing this game here. What are your thoughts? Is New England on our radar here? Like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, crap. Because that game, I know it's game one. It's the classic overreaction week one on all four of our games.
I got questions for that, man.
Overreaction. So so you're asking me how I feel about the Patriots moving forward?
Moving forward, week one, like, whoa, like, did it open your eyes?
No, I think they're exactly no. I think they're exactly what I thought they would be. I told you what they would be. That was no surprise. I told you the game would be close. I told you the Patriots defense is real. They've always been real. Anytime the Buffalo Bills, even when we were at our best, the Patriots fight us every single time. The Patriots fight everybody. The Patriots fight the Dolphins when the Dolphins were at their best. It doesn't matter. That's what they do. But no, I think they're still a 9-win team at best. I think their offense right now still, has to be worked out. Like, there's still problems there, in my opinion. I don't think they're quite there yet. That doesn't mean they can't get there, but just I don't think they're ready this season. And it's a crazy AFC East, a lot of really good teams, and just a really crazy AFC in general. By the way, all of us have tough schedules, so I just don't think that they're.
Glad you said that.
I don't think they're there yet. You know what I mean? And that's no knock. I still think. Listen, 9 wins is not like bad considering this division
this year. Yeah.
Right. So that's where I see them. I don't see them any more dangerous than I thought, going into the season. I respect them. I respect their head coach. Their quarterback, I'm still not totally sold on him, but I think with this new coordinator, it's a step in the right direction for Mac Jones, if that's their future quarterback. Put it that way.
You could use him over there in Buffalo there, Tommy. I couldn't help it.
You're gonna you it's a bad week for you, huh?
I can't wait to talk about it because it did bring back some bad memories, but it kind of made me go, hey, things are gonna be okay, and I'll explain that later.
Okay.
All right.
That's why I'm really not mad. I'm really not.
We're moving on to the next game, one of the exciting games that, by the way, this guy here picked correctly, is the Miami Dolphins going into Los Angeles and beating the Chargers in a really, if you wanted offense, you got offense. The defense was stuck in the mud. The defense were in preseason, 36-34. I told you they were going to win. You were very optimistic. If certain things go well, they'll see a win. But if not, they were going to see a loss there, Curtis. Here's your chance. Here's your flowers here, 36-34. Start on the road with a victory, AFC game. Give me your thoughts there. Let's start first off foremost with the offense. 36 points to Tagovailoa and company. Give me your thoughts there, Curtis.
Well, I mean, I thought they were going to lose like by maybe 10 if McDaniel didn't adjust. And I said if he did adjust, we'd probably lose a close one. But I didn't realize Staley was going to go full retard and just. I mean, a really curious and almost insane game plan. And now some Dolphin fans are like, well, you don't love the Dolphins? I'm like, football's a soup. You got the coaches, you got the players, and then they deal with the opposing coaches and players, and it's a soup. And then you got injuries and weather and refs. But Staley had probably the worst game plan possible. I thought McDaniel was about like 8.5 out of 10. And Fangio, he played that passive defense, let them run, held Williams down, kind of kept Herbert in check and dialed in those blitzes. And so I was very impressed I was very surprised with Staley. He should be fired. It's a huge opportunity because the Dolphins have 3 very winnable games. And then they got the Patriots on the road and then Bills on the road. Even if they just win the 3 ones they're supposed to and split the other ones, they could be 5-1 after 6 games. And the Charger game really sets them up. McDaniel impressed me. He attacked. If you look at last year, he attacked only small areas. Like there was like 3 or 4 sectors of the attack grid that he missed. He didn't even try. And it wasn't a good game plan, but he did really well. But Tua was the guy that impressed me the most. There was about 4 clear, like elite throws that altered the game. And the Dolphins would have lost if it wasn't for them. So I am impressed. I still think there's flaws in that offensive line that weren't taken advantage of. I don't think you can put this kind of yards. I mean, you can put the yards up, but not hitting these deep plays with such accuracy. I think that is where you get the Staley screw-up job in it. I think Miami's a dangerous team. I think that Fangio really turns them into a much, much better team. And the Chargers, unfortunately, they're very thin on defense. Staley runs them, and he's kind of stupid. Kellen Moore is pretty good. He's solid. He's a good coordinator. I don't think he caused the problems. But Dolphins, it was massive to do what they did. And I still can't believe the J.C. Jackson PI penalty towards that was just so ridiculous. So the Dolphins are in an excellent position. Very sort of surprising, not totally, but sort of surprising.
All right. Let's say first and foremost, welcome to the channel to Trevor from Sports Dynasty. What's going on, Trevor? How are you, buddy?
I'm okay, man. Just my work today was just so horrible today. I'm happy to be here. And that's all I gotta say. I'm happy to be here. I work with idiots.
Hey, happy to have you on here, brother. Now there's a bunch of them. Just like everyone has a butthole, there's a bunch of idiots all over the place.
Oh
yeah. Now I know we're here. I'm gonna give you here the Dolphins and the Chargers game, but real quick, not too long. Give me your thoughts on the Patriots. I know you got here a little late, but I wanted to hear your Patriots against the Eagles in that tough battle. I want to get your thoughts there.
I was very happy to see, I came out of that game, even though it was a loss. I felt really good about this. I feel really good about how we played. The offensive line played very well. I'm not gonna lie, they were in it to all hell, but they actually played very well. Defense shut out, absolutely lights out. Just wish we could have pulled it out, but I'm really happy with what I see from the Patriots in that game.
All right. So, sticking out to the Dolphins and the Chargers here, your thoughts on Tua Tagovailoa throwing 466 yards, 45 attempts, and 28 completions. I mean, if you wanted offense, you got it there, Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, can we talk about the idiocy of Brandon Staley? Is he a defensive coach? And you give up almost 600 yards of total offense to the Dolphins. Now, get me wrong, I picked the Dolphins to win anyway, but one fucking job. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't curse on here. I'm sorry about that.
No, go for it. I mean, go ahead. I mean, let it slip.
I mean, you are a defensive coach. Your job is defense. How do you not are able to succeed in the one thing that you so-called specialize in? It's ridiculous. I mean, J.C. Jackson's completely terrible. He's getting burnt up, lit up by Tyreek Hill. Woo, it was bad. But overall, I expect this to happen. My problem is, why do they keep making the Chargers a thing? The Chargers overall, the team is all right, they're okay, but it's they're not really gonna do anything. They don't really scare you or anything like that. They've always been that way to me, at least. But the media loves to make them a thing. But other than that, yeah, Miami, that was a good win for Miami. And you love offense, that was great. But Brandon Staley's an idiot, as always. So
unbelievably stupid. How do you put J.C. Jackson's got a 4.5 40. How do you put him up on the line of scrimmage? There was one play where he did a long crosser, and by 15 yards, he had almost a 5-yard separation. It made no sense. Okay, you could play man. There's different ways to play man on somebody who's fast and if you got slower guys. But putting them up on the line of scrimmage, no physical holding off the release. Staley is something wrong there, man. It just doesn't make any sense.
Mind you, JC Jackson's coming back from a bad leg injury. So his first game had to be against the fastest guy we've ever seen in this league.
It's so crazy. I mean, it was just
Dodo brain.
And let's keep him in man coverage. Not even one. Let's not go zone a little bit to help our own players. Let's do man.
Or just steal from the Patriots and you take John Taylor, who's the fast guy, put him on Hill, play him man, and have him run through zones. And then, mix and match your coverages. But it was just like straight man up on the line of scrimmage, no physicality. They left the middle open so many times. There was just guys sitting in like 10-yard radius of like empty space, catching a football on a run. It was tremendous for me. I love it. I hope the rest of the league adopts Staley's designs for defense. It'd be beautiful, man.
Well, we will see there. Chef, let me talk to you about Herbert. 23 out of 33 for 229 yards, a touchdown. A little bit majestic for him, despite the 34 points scored here. You're overhyped, Herbert. He got that big contract. Tua outplayed him. Tua hasn't gotten his paid either.
It wasn't that Tua outplayed him. If anything, Tua just let it be known what it should have been. Because Tua's always been a more accurate quarterback than Herbert. Herbert has a lot of weapons, but at the same time, the other big bugaboo for the Chargers is health concerns. It's a lot of health concerns. So you saw it in that game. Austin Eckler went down, so you really don't have a back you can trust in the game anymore. Mm-hmm. And from there, that changes how Herbert operates as a quarterback.
I think Mike Williams got hurt too in that game, if I'm not mistaken.
You got dinged.
And Mike Williams is someone he always depends on. Mm-hmm. So from there, the only person he really has left to depend on, because you can't really go to Keenan Allen too much because Keenan Allen gets hurt. So it's Donald Parham, the tight end. Yeah. And I don't mean to poo-poo Parham. He's a great story and all, but literally, the guy is an XFL call-up.
Yeah.
His story is nice, but you got to get you a real tight end now.
Mm-hmm. I think you guys got to understand that, like a lot of Dolphin fans didn't get it. Fangio played a ultralight nickel. He had two D linemen bunched inside, and then they played the two edge guys in 5 technique. They played nickel all day against that offensive line with Baker, who can't stop the run, but he's like a better man guy. And then Van Ginkel, who's just learning position. So they played pass all day. They said, run. We're taking away the pass. But then Staley did the exact opposite. He said, let's get everybody get up there. We're going to stop the run. I don't know what else he was trying to do. Play man. So, Tua had an easier day than Herbert. But it's not to knock Tua because there were 4 plays over there that were absolutely stellar, elite plays. And you don't need to say the guy had a great day every single pass, but when you dial in those 4 pass plays, they were elite. They were utterly elite, and it altered the course of the game. But Herbert was just throwing against the nickel all day. And so it was just harder for him. And I just thought, ultimately it came down to both these guys are talented. I always thought they were. Obviously, one's got more physical talent. One's got ultra elite releases better than Marino. But 2 of them came up big, but he was throwing against a defense that was, terrible.
All right. Speaking of terrible there, but we'll get to Tommy in a second here. Tommy, Tommy, your thought here with the defense, the game plan for the Chargers. So are we talking about hot seat for the coach there, the moron, the Aaron Boone of football?
Shaky bones.
Yeah. He should be, but he's not yet. It's too early. But you ask about the defense. There was no defense. There was no defense on the Dolphin side either. It was a sloppy defensive battle for both teams. Both offenses pretty much did what they wanted to do. And I think the Dolphins expected more out of their defense with Fangio out of week 1. Now, mind you, it's week 1. You got to remember that too. Every team's going to go through some struggles early on in the season, so they get it down pat. But that was a little surprising that the defense was getting it taken to them. I thought early on the running Eckler was just tearing up the Dolphins defense, and man, it was just a back and forth battle. It was whoever had the ball last. Chargers had an opportunity to win that game. They did, and they made a mistake, and the Dolphins surprisingly stepped up when they needed to on that fourth down on that last series. So
let me ask you this: when he missed that extra point, what was your thoughts?
I thought for sure. I thought the Chargers were going to go down and score a field goal because it was like nobody was stopping anybody. This was whoever had the ball was scoring. It's pretty much the whole game. But the Chargers are the Chargers, and it was not really a surprise either. Yeah,
I was just about to say that.
When we said it,
terrible calls, man. That last.
Yeah, we've said it all. We've said it for the past 2 or 3 seasons. Like the Chargers have a good team, they just can't put it together, and they seem to fail more than a lot of teams should in that predicament. Like they have a really good squad, and that could be coaching. It probably is coaching. So, but either way, I thought the Dolphins team looked good, but I thought the Chargers played terrible defense on Tua. And I'm sorry, not to a Hill. Awful. You cannot play Hill like that. He was just going to town, wide open, no help. I mean, why weren't you playing zone there? That makes no sense to me. I'm manning up on the fastest guy on the field. It just made no sense. And he was getting burnt every single time. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Tua is very accurate. I've been saying that. The only thing with Tua is it's a long season. And can he stay healthy? If he goes down, which is possible, then we'll see what happens in the next man up. Who's your backup right now? Mike White, correct?
Mike White and Skyler.
Okay. No, it's Mike effing White. You gotta put the
Mike effing White, right? Who's not a terrible backup, but he's not a Tua either, right? So
he's another toilet paper mache. He's made out of toilet tissue.
Yeah. He's a tough kid, but he's still not a Tua. But either way, it's going to be interesting. It's a long season. But I felt like the Dolphins handled their business week 1 on the road, and you got to tip your cap to them, man. They did what they had to do. They got the dub.
All right. We're going to move on here to week 2. No, wait a minute. There was one more game played. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. What game was that?
Monday Night Football. Now, guys, you gotta excuse me for a moment here because I'm going to put the light on myself first because here's my dilemma on happened on Monday night. Excuse me, guys. Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football.
You got a monologue.
I get ready. Right. I get ready to go. I come home from work. I'm getting to go. They call me the Don of the watch along. We're gonna do the whole damn watch along. Ready to go. And I'm ready. Kev Dan is joining me. We're about to kick off, feeling good about the game. 4 plays in, my Hall of Fame quarterback goes down. But that's not the worst part of it. Halfway through the game, Mother Nature decides to be funny, has a thunderstorm, and my power goes off until the next morning, until 5 a.m. So I didn't even watch the damn game. I saw when my quarterback got hurt. I saw that. I thank Chef Dan for giving me play-by-play on the watch-along. And that's how my night started. That's why I wanted to emphasize myself here. I'll bring back everybody on. So I saw the ugly. I saw the disgusting. I saw the disgusting field that is called MetLife. Listen, when Aaron Rodgers came out with the American flag, it was the greatest moment. But now that I think about it, they played Thunderstruck. You know what? The Jets were thunderfucked on Monday night. I'm like, what the heck? So it's like, what the heck? But I want to say this before I go on. I want to leave it to Tommy. Tommy, dissect your Buffalo Bills first because I want to go after that. And Chef Dan as well because Chef Dan did call the game and he saw everything and he illustrated it. Tommy, your thoughts here from the moment Rodgers goes down, from the kickoff, everything. Give me your thoughts, what you were thinking, and the first yours, Pop.
Listen, man, I don't want to see any quarterback go down, any player go down. Like that's terrible, especially when he's your top dude, right? You know, like you're especially your quarterback. Like that's like nobody wants to see that. It sucks, but it was crazy because it wasn't even like a devastating hit or a late hit or anything that like you could be like, hey, well, he went low or, he got caught up, got rolled up on. Like, it really wasn't like that. It was a really kind of a quick sprain, but it just is the way it happened. You got to also know too, though, leading up to this, and I've heard it from plenty of like different doctors, wherever they say, like when you have these calf problems heading in, they say it's related to the Achilles, like it has something to do with it. So the fact that Rodgers was having these issues in the camp early on, and then look what happens week 1, and they are connected. That
he's actually had calf issues for almost a decade now.
Yeah.
If you really go back to like 2014, like that affected him for years. So that's right. That I like the explanation. Thank you. That makes sense.
So it was kind of like almost due.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, same thing. You are right. Kevin Durant also had the calf thing, and then lead it out to the Achilles. So it was kind of almost meant to happen. I know it sucks to hear that way, but the good news is for Rodgers is he did go to the California doctor who worked on Kobe, and this guy supposedly cuts the healing time in half. He does some procedure. So Rodgers could relatively be back in April, which is good news for you guys. So yeah, it sucks that you lost him. I mean, that's terrible for you guys, but at least you get him back for next year, probably in time for the regular season. So, but for the game itself, I told you guys our defense was good. Our defense is good too, just like your defense. I think your defense, the difference between ours and yours is you actually make the tackles. Our tackling was pitiful, really bad. You guys are super fast, super young, super smart. I gotta tip my cap to your defense, man. You guys were all over the place. But I also told you we would get after your quarterbacks early. I thought our defensive line held up pretty well, except for against the run at times. Leonard Floyd, he's better than what you guys think. I told you guys that dude is good, and he's going to be good this season. And wait till Von gets back, and then you got Leonard Floyd and Von Miller and Greg Rousseau. Rousseau was causing havoc all night as well. Doesn't show up in the stat line, but he was a beast. I was proud of the dudes, proud of the line, but I just wasn't happy with the run defense. The big chunk gains, especially Breece Hall tearing us up. That dude is an absolute monster, by the way. But offensively, you guys are in a little bit of bind, especially moving forward with your quarterback now. But the good news is you got a defense that can keep you in every game. So as long as your quarterback can limit the turnovers, you have a chance to make the playoffs. No doubt about it. But he has to play smart. As far as my team goes, Josh Allen, awful, god awful. A lot of those turnovers were self-inflicted. Throwing into double coverage, triple coverage, unnecessary throws. He took unnecessary hits. He could have ran out of bounds a few times. He decided to go for the extra yard. Makes no sense. He fumbled. He still got the ball, and he's decided to run through the middle of a nasty defense. Makes no sense. You got to fall on the ball at that point. And he just was playing reckless ball all game long. And it has to change. And I love the dude, but my feelings, and I talked to you about this, Kevin, is this. I think Josh Allen has this mentality since high school that he has to prove everybody wrong. He has to prove that he can make the throw, that he can, make the play happen no matter who is guarding him, no matter who's in front of him, no matter what defense you put in front of him. He's going to make it happen. He's going to prove that he's the guy. He's done it through high school. He's done it through college. He's done it through NFL. He has not changed his way with the mentality of thinking that he can make anything possible. Anything he can do, he can make it happen. So that's his downfall, and he needs to correct that in order to be a good quarterback in the NFL. And I love the dude. And I think when he's on, he's on. But when things get a little bit rough, he wants to take over and prove everybody that he can do it. He can make it happen. And it doesn't work that way. You have a whole team. You got guys that can make plays too. You got to give him an opportunity. He just wasn't giving other players an opportunity, and it cost us the game. It did.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Listen, I got to say too, going up 13-3 at half, we should have won that game. If we would have played,
I thought it was over.
If we would have played smart ball in the second half, because here's the deal, and I'm not taking shots at your team, but the Jets offense wasn't doing shit all game. Okay, when we turned the ball over, we gave you opportunities to score a field goal, really good field position. every single score you guys did was great field position, from a turnover to a fumble. It led to points. That's on the offense. The defense did their job. It would have been an ugly win, but we should have won that game, but we didn't. It is what it is. I thought your defense did exactly what they were supposed to do, and we did exactly what we weren't supposed to do, and ultimately that's it. But I want to say one thing real quick too. Week 1 in 2021, and I blame myself for this loss, by the way. So Bills Mafia, if you're watching, this is my fault. So in 2021, I went and got wings. Yep, I went and got wings. And home opener against the Steelers, we lost that game. Home opener, 2021. I got wings in this home opener, and we lost. So I will never do that again. That is my fault. So I'm superstitious, and I shouldn't have done it, and I apologize. So I'll never do that again. I'll never get wings before a Buffalo Bills game ever again. I apologize. That's all I got to say.
I'm so done.
All right, let me go to Chef Dan, who did the call of the game there. Do you agree the Jets defense or the offense didn't do anything? Because I think field position is part of the game and it's opportunistic. But your thoughts since you called the game, give me your thoughts from when Rodgers, your whole game from start to finish, this game on Monday Night Football. And first, before you go, hold on, let me say thank you to everyone in the Super Chat. Sorry about that, Chef Dan. I want to acknowledge everyone. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Nickel City. We appreciate those super chats. Keep it coming. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, Chef Dan. Go for it, brother. Cook.
Man, what a game. There is a lot of sentiments. A lot of what Tommy said was correct and spot on, and I just have to add on to it. When Aaron Rodgers went down, I mean, as a Jets fan, it's just deflating, freaking deflating. And then the first name that comes to your mind, the Jedi said it right on stream, was Vinny Testaverde. Testaverde. And it hurts, it sucks, but at the same time, you hope that with the advance in sports medicine, because sports has become such a high-paying commodity in America, that the medicine to go along with it to help these athletes get back on the field has become just as important. You hope that helps Aaron Rodgers heal and that he can get back, on the field before you know it. But heading back to the game, man, salute to Robert Saleh because he's got that defense, intact going. They were some gangbusters that night, and not only that, they were the sole reason that the Jets even won the game. That defense, no matter how deflated the entire building was, they just kept making plays after play after play after play until you realize, okay, if you're not going to watch Aaron Rodgers, you're going to watch us. And that was the tone that they set. And it was a very aggressive defense. So salute to those guys. Xavier Whitehead, man, 3 interceptions on the night. That he made a bonus. He had a bonus in his contract in one night. So you're gonna have to thank Josh Allen for helping you out with that one completely. Yeah,
100%.
Now I have to save this the last bit for the Jets offense. As fairy tale as the game ended with the guy who just made the roster, ending it on a punt return. The offense, he's absolutely right, did not do anything at all whatsoever. And it's scary to watch that and just see Zach Wilson routinely missing plays in the middle of the field. And the one time he wanted to throw it in the middle of the field, it was right to Matt Milano. That's scary that you're not even reading the middle of the field and you threw it exactly. It wasn't that Milano made a special move.
Sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Milano almost took out Zach Wilson as well in that game. You remember that play?
Yeah, when he went for the run and he just knocked his block off.
Bro. I was like, here we go again.
Milano got something against y'all Jet quarterbacks, man. I don't know what.
He's a hard hitter, though. Milano's a hell of a player.
No,
Milano's a hell of a player. He is a good player. But sorry to cut you off.
Good.
Go ahead, Chef Dan. Sorry, my bad.
You guys are right. Milano's a great player, but I'm not. And it's not to say he didn't, but he really didn't make a play. He was just standing there and watching Zach to go, all right, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? Oh, you're throwing it. Oh, it's right here. Okay. It didn't make any sense. And then as you're watching Zach, oh my gosh.
Yep.
Nathaniel Hackett made it so that it was easy for Zach Wilson. You had receivers and tight ends in motion. You had a really short game where all you really had to do from time to time was dump it off and you could have gotten yards. And the reason why you say the offense really didn't do anything is you're right. Like, Tommy, you're absolutely right. 13-3 up at the half, the Bills should have won it. But if in one half that other quarterback throws 3 interceptions
and a fumble,
and a fumble, and the
should have been 4 interceptions.
It should have been 4.
Should have been 4.
Yeah, Mosley can't hold on to that damn ball.
Right.
And like you hear all of this go wrong in the other half, and you could only come up with 22 points. I know a lot of the sports pundits were singing Zach Wilson's praises because he managed the game well. I'm sorry to say, but he didn't even do a game manager's job. Because I know
what I think you guys should have did, and I'm surprised that you didn't keep at it. Even early on with Rodgers, I felt like you didn't run the ball more. Like, you were gashing us at times. Like, I am surprised that you went away from the run as much as you did, because we really, truthfully, had no really answer most of the time when you ran it. We very rarely got stops. Like, you guys, and it wasn't just like 3-yard, 4-yard. It was big gash runs every time. And for some reason, your coordinator decided to go away from the run.
No, you have to, Tommy, here's the crazy part. You have to give your defense a little bit more credit, because what I will say is that in the early sets, if the Jets are in Jets territory, they're gashing for runs. But as soon as the field got condensed and they entered Bills territory, and it's getting shorter and shorter, that line of the Bills got very stout. They got very greedy. They got very cheap and said, hey, you get little to nothing. So which is why, even the pass to Garrett Wilson, look at that ball that he threw. Everyone was surprised that he threw it.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was a bad ball.
And I'll agree with you on that, too, because I think when Rodgers goes out in that game, the Bills were then going to dare Zach Wilson to throw. Probably were a little bit more tight on defense on the run, a little bit more coming up in the box. So I agree with you on that one a little bit, but I still felt like even later in the game, Dalvin Cook was getting some big gash runs on us. Like, we that's something the Bills we have yet to figure out. So, but I agree with what you're saying. But yeah, I just feel like going forward for you guys, man, I don't know what you're going to do with Zach Wilson. I really don't. I think you're going to wind up getting you have to pick up another quarterback right now. You have to pick up another quarterback just for health's sake, because you see it
how many times has Zach Wilson just run the wrong direction?
Yeah, I mean,
and that's a scary thing to say, but it was countable. Like, you get pressure in the back, and then he's just running away, making a short distance throw even longer. He doesn't make those quick decisions. Like, let me just, and it was, they said, a lot of pundits said it, and looking back at the tape, it was Aaron Rodgers' fault that he got hurt, because it was supposed to be a 3-step drop. Bop, 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 throw it, get rid of it. Zach Wilson isn't capable of that either.
You're going to find out shortly what he's capable of. I mean, I think you guys know, though, already. You've seen enough of him, and that's the reason why you went out and got Aaron Rodgers. But
we've all seen enough.
Yeah, but it is what it is. I mean, you're at where you're at now. There is you can't turn the clock backwards. So at this point, you guys just got to hope that he plays safe ball. The defense keeps you in the game, and you win a sloppy win like you did against us in week 1. That's what it's going to boil down to. for you guys. And that's how I see it. I could be wrong. Maybe Zach Wilson winds up playing better. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
It's up to him to prove us wrong, but the way he proves us wrong is not by throwing for a whole bunch of touchdowns. It's like crazy to say, but he's going to have the year that Daniel Jones had last year.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones was, for the Giants, was just a game manager. He like, you get rid of the ball when you need to. And the worst part is you have really good receivers. The Jets have really good receivers. But you got to get rid of the ball at the right time. You gotta scan the field correctly. You're not going for big plays. But if you're throwing the ball, it's okay to throw the ball and get 3, 4, 5 yards because you're moving the chains. He has to be able to move the chains. And that was a scary part because he had so much difficulty moving the chains against the Bills.
And I got to bring up one more thing, too, on my game because I know my buddy down below here, I feel like this is like a Brady Bunch, like he's over here. Right over there, Curtis. He's going to talk about it. My buddy Ken Dorsey, who I've been supporting. Listen, man, he did he did a pretty bad job in that game, calling that game. I thought, he did not help that Bills offense at all. His play calling was once again just putrid in my, just the way I see it. I thought the second half, I thought he did no adjustments at all. The overtime 2nd and 15 draw play, which, by the way, stop the draw plays to the running backs. They don't work. They haven't worked. Dable did it when he was here. It didn't work then. It's not working now. Quit it. And they won't because I don't get it. They like it's once again, it's like Dable is the same way. Very stubborn, hard-headed, didn't make in-game adjustments, and he like passed it on to Dorsey. And Dorsey's like reading off the same playbook as Dable. No in-game adjustments, no creativity, no man in motion, nothing to help out Allen either when the pass rush is on. Just nothing. Just go out there and we're going to continue what we had planned and see what happens. And it just doesn't work that way when you play good defenses. You have to adjust. You have to figure a way to get the offense rolling. And and Dorsey has not figured that out yet, because if you saw last season, he started off okay. I thought Dorsey last year in the beginning of first half was fine. The offense was clicking, and then when defenses started figuring the Buffalo Bills out, it kind of once again, kind of like with Dable, it started going downhill. And same thing when you get in the playoffs, you face a good team. We don't know what to do. We have no in-game adjustments, and that was Dorsey's fault last year. And it's week 1 going against a team he's seen twice already from last year. Same defense, by the way. There's no difference. And he has no game plan. Nothing to help out Josh Allen and this team. The runs, by the way, you go out, you pick up Damian Harris, and you give him 1 run. 1. That's terrible. Latavius Murray, 2. What? James Cook, 12. By the way, James Cook, I didn't think he played good either. Offensive line, once again, the run blocking is not very good. Though James Cook did not hit holes that were there for him. He did bounce back in the back for some of his offensive linemen. That's on Cook, and he needs to get better if he wants to be a RB1. But yeah, no run game once again for the Buffalo Bills, and it just puts Allen in a bad predicament. But you can't always blame the coordinator either. Those interceptions, once again, you got to go back to Allen. Allen could have threw the ball away. Allen could have ran a couple times. He could have went to a different receiver. So I think it's a little bit on both. But, yeah, Dorsey did not help that game. And I got to say, if he doesn't improve this year, it's time to move on. You got to move on from Dorsey. You got to get somebody in here that knows what they're doing. But I'm still going to ride with him until this year, just like I am McDermott. But McDermott and this whole coaching staff for me this is my last year defending them or anything like that. They got to make a change. They got to prove something, and it starts this week. It starts Sunday.
All right, Juan, I want to get your thoughts here with the Jets and Bills game. What's your thoughts? What you saw there from the New England perspective, or non-investment on the teams that are, us being fans of it, seeing from the outside from your lens? What did you see there when Rodgers went down? What was your thoughts and so forth as the game transpired throughout the night?
The biggest thing I saw from when he got hurt is just everybody in the stadium, the deflation of emotion from when he ran out from that tunnel. I've never seen MetLife that lively a day in my life. But when that man went down, I guess twice, kind of diggled down twice, it was just silent and everything was deflated. The minute that happened, I'm like, oh, well, the Bills is going to win this game pretty easily. All they got to do is run the ball and not do anything else. And quarterback. So what happened wound up happening. The Jets defense just picking up from what they left off last year. They were very good. The interior defensive line, again, they probably have the best interior defensive line in the division. And this is a straight up division, defensive division. Even Miami, they may not rank very high, but when they need to make plays, half the time they do make them. So we have the best defenses. Like the best defensive division is us, and I don't think it's particularly close. In terms of the Bills, the same thing. The defense did what they had to do. Milano's such a freaking monster. Oh my goodness gracious! Like I know you say you got linebacker problems, Tommy, but
middle linebacker.
Yeah, when you got him running around the way he runs around,
he's crazy. Yeah.
At least a C plus at linebacker. I mean, with him running around like that, Jesus Christ.
I think what you do. I think also is because you're missing Vaughn so much that Vaughn and Ray Lewis has said it best. Front hand helps the backhand helps the front hand. If you have that consistent pass rush element, then the linebackers look so much better, and it helps the cornerbacks as well. It's such an amoeba effect the defense has.
100%. But I do have a theory on Josh Allen. I think I just made up this term last week, but I think he has something called strong arm hubris. Strong arm hubris, meaning he thinks he can make any motherfucking throw. It doesn't matter who's there. It doesn't matter what hands are above. It doesn't matter if the window is this small, literally this small. I think he just thinks he could hit that motherfucker and he ain't never going to get in trouble for it. And for half the time for the last 2 years or 3 years, he did. But not on this one. I think he got strong arm hubris, man. I think he literally thinks he's Superman. His guns, he thinks his guns are like Monty Python looking guns. And nah, man, he really does need to chill. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of didn't think you will say as much as you did, Tommy. I'm so proud of you that you really realized that he got to grow up. I'm so proud of you. Yeah. I thought you were going to defend this man to the bone. And I'm not trying to offend you. I'm saying a realist. You're not.
He's gone to Josh Allen and Anonymous. They've been helping him out.
And you know what's weird about Josh Allen, the one, and I love the dude. It's like if you go back in his career, when he first came to the NFL, 2018, his rookie year, it was you saw that that accuracy issues, which was the main thing, right? Bad accuracy and a little bit sloppy, careless with the ball, a little reckless. And then if you saw at the end of 2019, when he was still kind of struggling with this completion percentage, he went out and got a specialist. So the fact that he knew that he needed to be better, change, but mind you, the team didn't tell him to do it. He went out and did it himself, and you got to respect that. And what happened? 2020 came out 68% completion percentage. Totally different quarterback, right? Because he knew he had to change. But I think this is more of a mental thing. It's not a physical thing. All his physical traits are there, right? He does have probably the biggest, strongest arm in the NFL. He probably does. He's probably one of the best physical quarterbacks, running the ball. He is really that good. But mentally, he just is in this space where he just feels in a way, like what you said, he feels like he could do anything against anybody at any time, and he wants to take over, and it's like he's trying to prove everybody he can make it happen. He's the man. Time. Yeah, and he does right, and it's like what I want, and what all Bills meant. It's like, dude, I want to see that on a 4th and 1. Go fucking hurdle somebody. Fine, you know what I mean? It's fucking it's 4th and 30, and there's no time. Chuck that fucking ball down the field. Fine, you know what I mean? It's 2-minute drive. Do whatever you got to do. I get it. But on a fucking first quarter, 3rd and 13, and you're trying to hurl for 2 more yards. I mean, it's like, bro, I need you on the field. We need you. What is the point of getting 1 more yard when you could step out of bounds? There's no point of that. I don't get it. And it may never go away. I think it's something that he just has to figure out in his head that I got to play smarter. But yet, at the same time, Juan, I also don't want him to take too much back and not
100%.
do those things.
Because that's what makes him him.
That's where it's like this level, where he's like fighting, because what if he goes, all right, I'm never going to do that. And then he plays super safe ball and it's like, right. So he has to be in the middle somewhere. And I think that's where he has a tough time finding that middle ground. You know what I mean? Of when to do something crazy like that and when not to. And he fights with that every single game.
Like you said, though, he did do it. So why did you
He has
revert?
done it.
So why?
He's
That's
done
what,
it. But you know what it is? I think it's against better teams when games are close.
I'll give you the answer to that one.
When defense, it doesn't help the play calling, but I'm just saying though, it does. And you know what's weird though? I will go back to 2021. He had one of the best performances in playoff history. I mean, he was dominating. He had great completion percentage. That was the 13 seconds, by the way. So that whole playoff run was brilliant. That was not Josh Allen's fault. Like, that was a brilliant performance throughout the playoffs. But look what he did last year in the playoffs. Look what he did in 2020 in the playoffs when he went against Chiefs and Champions. Like, he has these moments against better teams where he just starts to struggle. Though Curtis is going to say it, and I somewhat agree that the coordinator is not helping him either.
All right, let me get your thoughts there, Curtis. Do you agree that it's a mental thing with Allen there, watching that game and watching that, or you think it's an offensive coordinator situation? Is it missing Brian Dable? What's your thoughts there, Curtis?
My thing is, if I have a son, he's a crack addict, and he's got to study for his SATs, and I put him in a room and say, here, son, I know I got a bunch of files of crack over here, but I need you to really study for that exam and ace it. And all of a sudden I come back and the guy's passed out in La La Land and there's like 20 empty files of crack. Yeah, he screwed up. But I'm the guy who put him there and said, I got 10 vials of crack over here, whatever. And I put him in a bad framework. Now, Josh Allen hit just very clear. The rise of the blitz up at the 220, he was 244 times blitzed. Like 40 something more than the next guy. That was his best year. The very next year, he went down 60 to like 180, then to 140. And his team said, you know what? All we're going to do, we're going to play nickel. We're going to drop everybody in zones at the 10-yard mark. We know they run from the draw all the time. It's very easy to diagnose the draw. You see everything there. It's very easy to diagnose. And then along the way, Dableism and then Dableism 2.0 with Shaky Bones. I said, Josh, get us out of this. Josh, run the football. Josh, throw deep, baby. Just as an example, in the Jets game, the Jets blitzed 11 times. They played nickel a ton. They got a great front, and you were under center 4 times. You got 3 for 19 on your runs. And your one pass was to Davis for like the biggest pass play of the game, or at least the second. And you only did it 4 times. You draws the rest of the time, and you got 31 yards. And the draws were dead. And it doesn't make any sense from a schematic philosophical standpoint. If you come up there, why only do for under center 4 times, see grows to success, and never go back to it? And so in order to, you got to draw the blitz. So you can either flood the secondary and have the guy pick it apart and then have them blitz. Then that's how you get the blitz. Or the easier way is you come out in a strong front, 12 personnel or whatever you want, run the football on the center. When you take that snap and turn your back, the defenders go, whoa, what's going on here? That's why you have a tendency to have better play actions off it and more success off the run. So if they would actually play physical football, run the football, get Allen blitzed, he'd be able to break out more, buy more time, have a thinner secondary to throw at, but they keep doubling down on Dableism 1.0 to Dableism 2.0, and they say, we're going to keep flood it, baby, and Allen's not that guy. And the problem is, you saw Allen get darted into the turf head first, and the very next play was shotgun. Dude, he literally, I've never seen him take a snap before and go through his hands. That guy's bell was rung. And all they did is said, Allen
I'm so
run,
glad you said that.
Allen throw.
I'm so glad you said that.
I'm sorry, you can take over. Shaky Bones, baby. I got to think. Shaky Bones, Hackett, and Staley are vying for my three-headed cherubus of idiocy for coaching. Anyway, go on.
No, but the Josh Allen thing, I'm glad you said that because I've looked at his demeanor in his face, especially at the fourth quarter and on. That dude was lost. I've never seen his eyes look so wide. Dude. I'm looking at him like, why does he look like that? Is he just looking dumb on purpose, or is he like not here? Like I was thinking that, but I didn't say it out loud.
Dude, it's like you give your kid this like Porsche, and the kid guy goes out and he's drinking and driving, wrecking the thing. They're just trying to drive Josh Allen to the ground. Dorsey knows if they do really well through Josh Allen, he's going to get a head coaching gig. They're not really trying to take care of this kid. There's no way you have a franchise quarterback and the guy goes head first. They literally grabbed him and pulled him to the ground. The front of his cranium slams into the turf, and he wakes up like this.
Dudley boys, and then, 3D.
Oh, here you go. Run, Josh. Throw, Josh. Just get on the center. You got Murray, who's 230 pounds. You got Harris, and you're running draws. Linebackers and safeties, all they do is stare straight at it. They can see the handoff, and then you run your RPOs. It is terrible.
Exactly.
This philosophy is literally like it's designed to destroy the kid. And it's not to say he's got flaws, but what do? You keep putting him in situations to accentuate his flaws and not to enhance his strengths.
But you know what's weird though, if you go back to 2022. The first two games, like against the Rams, opening week, you look at Dorsey's game plan. It wasn't. It was perfect.
Yeah.
He got the ball out early. We ran the ball. Like it was very fluent offense. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he's changes his way.
Unstable. Tommy.
He goes.
He's mentally unstable. He's shaky.
Well,
he's mentally unstable. A guy who is also new. Remember Adam Gase? Hi.
Oh my God.
He's got the same look as Gase.
Yeah.
Somebody who's unstable and insecure.
Yeah. We'll see. I still think listen, he's only done it 1 year. We're gonna see. I'll give him this year. If things don't change, then they gotta make a decision. But some of that's on Allen though. You still can't, but you still gotta know players are still responsible as well. It's not always going back to coaches. Now, the fingers are going to point back at the coaches, and just like fingers are going to point at quarterbacks when your team loses for the most part. But some of those things were on Josh Allen as well. Like you cannot put the full blame. Like the fumble, Josh Allen picks it up and decides to run with it. That's not Ken Dorsey's fault. Maybe he put him in a bad position.
I totally agree on moments. It's the player. But when you have long trend lines of repeated behavior, and it's not mitigated by the staff, then it falls to the staff. The staff.
I agree. Yeah.
I had a bad game. It's not my fault. The quarterback screwed up. But when a guy's been doing it for 2 years or 3 years, the same kind of behavior, and you don't mitigate it, it's totally the staff.
But it's only been a year though, Curtis. It's only been 1 year though for Ken Dorsey.
2 years. It's been 2
No.
We still have 3 games to cover. We still have 3 games to cover.
We
still have 3 games to cover.
We got more games to cover.
It's been
he started last year.
Let's get Trevor. Let's get Trevor in here because he's been quiet, speaking about looking like like he's got his bell rung. Just sits there. Let's get him in
my
here.
guy Chef up there is just laying down, ready to fall asleep. You got to move on.
I'm listening to y'all.
Trevor, give me a thought there with Allen going to get saved here, or give me the whole part of the games and your thoughts on the conversation that Curtis and Tommy was having.
Well, for instance, the game in general, I feel like it's just a tale two. Well, I won't say tale two halves, but you can tell that the emotional aspect of the game was like, yes, unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers is out for the season. The football gods said, well, you can't have Aaron Rodgers, but I can give you this window. But, at the end of the day, it's cool, though. But really quickly, Josh Allen did not play well. This is like Curtis said, it's a lot of repeated behavior of him throwing the ball, double, triple coverage. We see this in a lot of games. And the only difference is that you play against a team with a good defense, it happens. So, again, this is a bad game for them overall. But I want to talk more about on the Jets side of the day, honestly. Zach Wilson we know exactly what you guys get from him. We see it. We see enough years to know that, hey, listen, this guy is just the way that he is. It's year 3 and he still can't read defenses properly. And the crazy thing is that the next 5 games are against 4 next 5 games for the Jets are against elite defenses. You have the Cowboys next week, the Patriots after that, the Chiefs after that, and you have the Eagles after that. So it's like, he's gonna, unless that offensive line can protect them, or he's able to see or finally read a fucking defense for once, it's gonna be very, very bad. It's gonna be very, very bad. And again, it's something because it's gonna be as similar as last year, where the defense is on the field doing his best, trying to keep the game together, but you have an incompetent quarterback. Like, I'm sorry, you have Garrett Wilson on your team. You have a great receiver, and you can't give him the ball.
Hell of a touchdown catch, by the way.
And that was a great touchdown.
Oh, dude, yeah, that was crazy.
That was great. That was really
concentration, boy.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like Zach Wilson.
That was good coverage, by the way.
No, he played defense on Trey White. He 100% played defense on Trey White.
That was just a better catch. That was a better finish. That's all. He finished the play better, but I don't hate the defense. I thought Trey did fine. It just was a really
that was perfect coverage.
Yeah,
he wanted it more.
Can't do nothing on that. It more. It's kind of like the D-Hop thing, right?
Yeah,
we were there.
Exactly.
He wanted it more. I don't know.
So, Trevor, you're done. No, go ahead. Finish. I want you to finish that.
Yeah, but overall, I think that it was a good win for the Jets. A very emotional win for them. They needed it. You want to know at the end of the day, Buffalo will come back strong in the next game against the Raiders. But I'm very interested on how they respond against the Dallas Cowboys, which we'll get to in a second. But
it's gonna be interesting.
Absolutely. We're ready to do week two, or we're ready to take some five burning questions. Juan, your thoughts?
Well, I had 5, but we talked about the Bills for forever, so now I have 4.
Let me get this section there. It's the Juan's 5 burning questions.
You like that one, huh?
Take a minute and follow them, and I want you guys to, if you're in the chat, please support, and there you go. You have a chance to copy and paste it, or you got that where you can find them at Sports Dynasty 6108. So we definitely want
this
you
is so much pressure now. That picture was so fire. Oh my God, no pun intended.
And we're going to keep it up here because this is your segment. Go for it before we preview week 2.
100%. All right, so I'm gonna say the question for everyone before I start going at every team, including the Patriots. I have a heel question for the Patriots this week, Trevor. So get ready for that. All right. See, again, the Bills I'm not going to say because we kind of went at Josh Allen the entire time. So there's no reason for me to say the Bills won. So now for each team, I'm going to go with the Jets first on this question. Week 1 is all about overreactions. We're going to see a team for the first time, and we're going to assume one team is going to be Super Bowl champion, San Francisco 49ers, win the Super Bowl, and we're not even in freaking winter yet, let alone talking about February. So for overreactions for the Jets, with overreaction on any of your division rivals, Jets, Patriots, and Bills, are you buying or selling? It doesn't matter which Jet person wants to chime in.
You go. We're both gonna answer, but I'm gonna let Chef Dan go first, and then I'll piggyback off of that.
What overreaction are you buying or selling for any of the division rivals you have? I know there's so many.
There are so many.
Do you want me to come back to y'all? I can go to.
Nah, it's not that because there's only one team I want to go after. I just look. The overreaction. I have to say it. I'm just not buying into the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, congratulations,
Curtis.
You beat up on stupid Stanley. Like, what do you want me to do?
Shots fired.
Oh, Curtis, you can respond if you want.
Oh, and he's on mute. Curtis on mute. Curtis on mute.
Am I supposed to answer that one?
If you want to.
You can respond to that.
I think that with Rodgers and the Jets, they were one of the most consistent teams as far as lack of holes. Now that they're gone, I think there's they got holes. To me, the Bills, they've got coaching issues. You got to wait for Vaughn to return. They've got holes. Patriots, you're waiting to see how it plays out. Dolphins, to me, are a team right now with that big win. They've got holes. They've got issues. But you got to let it see it play out. I mean, I'm not sure if this offensive line is going to be hold up, but they did hold up against the first week. There's mitigating factors to that I see that help them out. But Tehran's not in. So does Tehran stay healthy all season? So I think the Dolphins have the potential because you have a lot of really not high quality coaches in the NFL that guys like Hill, Berrios, and Waddle can take advantage of. And then you got, Fangio's waiting for Ramsey to return who can mitigate things. So I think the hype is too high for the Dolphins. But that's not based on the fact that they're not a quality team. They have really high strengths. They have a few key weaknesses. But you've seen what they can do when that is kicking. So for me, I think they're a good team. I don't think they're a great team. I think they're not a perfect team. But the hype is too high, but I still think they're a good team. So that would be my take. So I sort of agree with you in a sense, but I think the Dolphins, what you've seen so far, Bengals falling, Chiefs looking vulnerable, Steelers kind of laying an egg. I mean, Ravens already got a bunch of injuries. The Dolphins have positioned themselves to possibly take advantage of all this. And as long as they stay healthy, I think the potential's there, but they're not what, people are billing them now as. So I think this Pats game though will help validate or invalidate that hype.
Nice. Kev, have you decided?
Yes. I'm good. I'm ready to go. I'm totally buying mine. Let me put this 5. Let me so people can see me there. Excuse me, Curtis. No disrespect. I'm just gonna put that.
That's right, bro. Okay.
All right. No disrespect there. All right. I'm behind on the New York Jets. Why not? Why freaking not? Can they win the division?
He went to himself. That's crazy.
hey, I'm gonna put myself over here. That's the way to go, man.
You, brother?
I seen the Baltimore Ravens win with a defense with terrible quarterbacking. Okay, we seen the Bucs win with terrible quarterbacking. I understand. Listen, one thing that I'm very confident in the middle of the season, Rodgers will be in that sideline in the ear of Zach Wilson. He didn't have that last year when he stunk up the joint. Now I understand it's only game 1. Also, Wilson never thought in his mind that he was going to get in that game week 1. Play. He thought it was going to go look cute, look for somebody's mama in the stands to say she looks cute. I'm going to give her my number and so forth. He had no idea he was going to play. The defense played well. The Jets will beat you in 2 different areas and maybe possibly 3 had a good quarterback. Special teams in the defense and Nicole Hartman didn't even play. Okay, so we have a 4-headed running attack. Now, I do agree with Curtis when he says a lot of teams don't go under center. I used to say that all the time last year. I need Wilson under center. I can't tolerate the shotgun damn formation where you could have the linebackers and the defense see the handoff change, especially when you have a running attack. I hope they implement a play action play with the Wilson. And I'm behind. Stock up on the Jets. I'm not abandoning them. I think they're going to go well. And for my team that I think is overhyped, it's the Bills. I'm sorry, you didn't impress me. You guys, you're fighting with reporters. You got Dick fighting with reporters. They're calling me a dick on TV on national camera.
That's not what happened though. That's not.
There's a lot of scuttlebutt. There's a lot of dissension. There's a lot of crap going on. They don't need it. You know what? Overhyped. I believe more in the Patriots more than the Bills, in my opinion. So those are my 2 situations there.
All right, so I'm buying the Jets defense. I'll be real. I think the Jets defense is legit. They're very good. I can't say enough about their young players there. They're very talented. But I'm selling on the whole fact that the Buffalo Bills are washed. They're a team that's going off the cliff all of a sudden. You got the same unit. You got the same quarterback in place. You got the same structure. You guys can say what you want. And by the way, I've heard this story year after year after year when the Bills have lost a few games, and everybody on national media says the Bills they're going downhill. It's the Jets, it's the Dolphins, it's the Patriots, and we have come out on top each season. I've heard this song and dance a million times, and I'm not buying into it, okay? Because this is a long season. The Bills have proven year after year, unlike the Jets, unlike the Dolphins, and unlike the Patriots the past 3 seasons, that we could finish out a season, at least a regular season, not the playoffs, and win the AFC East. We have proven that. We don't have to sit here and talk trash and say we're the best and we don't have to do that. We leave our actions on the field and throughout the whole season. Now, week 1, of course, was bad, but you want to go back and look at Joe Burrow's performance week 1 and the Cincinnati Bengals. Are they off the cliff? Are they terrible now? The Chiefs lost week 1. Are they a crappy team? Are they the awful? Like, you can't really judge a team off week 1. Now, you could say they played bad. You could say things didn't look good. But that's the whole point. It's week 1. And I believe in this team. I believe in the players. It's the same group of guys that have been winning here. And Von Miller's not even back yet. So you can't really judge this team after 1 week. And by the way, very close game. And it was a close game last year. That's a good defense you got there. So you can't really judge the Bills off week 1 that all of a sudden we're crashing, we're done. The Jets all of a sudden are going to win the division. It's the Dolphins' year. It's the Patriots. We heard this song and dance. So, no, I'm definitely selling on that one that everyone has the Bills all of a sudden the worst team in the East. That's craziness. And if you guys believe that, then you need to go talk to somebody, because go look at the past, man. Look what you guys done every single season that you guys bought into your own hype, and it led you nowhere. So we'll see at the end of the season. We'll talk and see who's where in the division. That's all I can say, because week 1 doesn't say anything, nothing. So that's it.
It's a little personal right there. All right, man. I see you. All right, Trevor.
Here's the thing.
It's a very long season.
Yeah, but this is the thing for you and me, Tommy, with our teams. They got to do way more to make the playoffs. They got to even do more than win the division. These teams, your team has to go to Super Bowl mine at least.
I agree with that. That's
so that I think that's the Jets. No matter what they do now with Rodgers, it's gravy time. I think Bill's in a little bit of trouble. He's got to do something to look. I don't think.
But you're talking. But you made a great point though, Curtis. You're talking what we need to do when we get to the playoffs and get through. So I agree with that. I've listen, I'm on record. Juan knows it. Trevor knows it. Everybody that knows me knows it. Getting into the playoffs has not been a problem. It's the playoffs that's been the problem. And it's the coaching staff that keep hitting the same wall year after year after year. And eventually, you are right. That window will close. I agree. And you have Josh in his prime. You have Stephon Diggs in his prime. If you can't get it done now, you're never going to get it done. And that's my point about moving on from coaches. And I'm on board. If they can't get it done this season, I think it is time for a change. And I think the whole coaching staff would need to go. And I still think we could be a playoff team, because here's the deal, Curtis. I think a lot of Bills Mafia are afraid to change. They're afraid to change because they don't want to go back to the 17-year drought. And you won't go back to that if you hire the right guy. You have the team in place. It's just some coaches aren't built to get you to the promised land. And I think Sean McDermott may be one of those guys. Love the dude. He's a good regular season coach, but we need more. And we just haven't.
I liked what he did on defense, though. I'll tell you, I liked what he did.
Sure, he's a great, but that doesn't. It doesn't.
Let's not revert. We still got 3 games to cover after this.
Yeah.
Trust me, I want to listen to this.
I want to.
Juan is right. All right, who's next? Trevor.
We got more burning questions.
Trevor, go for it.
I am buying on the New England Patriots defense. I'm buying on them.
Hold up. This is supposed to be about rivals. Why is everybody buying into themselves? Like, what's the point of this then? I'm confused.
Yeah.
I fight.
No, Trevor. Go ahead, because everybody else did it. So you might as well do it
too. I am buying on this New England Patriots defense. With the addition of Christian Gonzalez on the corners, we're a lot more physical. And I'm not going to lie,
Scott.
The Eagles. Against the Eagles. We were able to shut down the number 2 MVP and Jalen Hurts, shut him down, and we held the offense. And after, even though we gave them 13 points, just by stupid mistakes. But we held them to 4 field goals. Like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't get into the end zone again. Almost had a chance to win it. This defense is legit. It's probably gonna be a top 3 defense in the league, which is gonna be scary because all 4 defenses in our division are. It's gonna be a dogfight in this division. It won't be as the walk in the park that people think it is. Yeah, I know Buffalo is good, but it won't be a walk in the park as most people think it's gonna be for them to win it. I'm selling, completely selling on the New York Jets. I'm sorry, I can't do it. We've seen this somber song over and over and over and over again. They hype themselves up. Well, I'm sorry, not you guys. The media hypes because we're New Yorkers. Well, me, Juan, and we're New Yorkers, and so we hear all the time. They hype them. The media hypes them up. Oh my God! But they haven't done anything. Yes, he had a great defense and everything. And Aaron Rodgers, unfortunately, got hurt and everything. But Zach Wilson is still the quarterback for this team. I'm sorry. Remember how last year when he had like 7-4, pretty much in the playoff race, and then he just lost the last 5 games because of bad quarterback play and bad coaching. Bad coaching too. It's really bad. So I'm not buying into it. At the end of the day, it's the same old Jets over and over again. Yeah, they make kind of keep it a little interesting, but at the end of the day, it's gonna end the same way. Y'all missing the playoffs yet again.
Damn.
All right. There was a lot of shots fired. All of us got hit with something from somebody, and that's what this is all about. Okay, I'm gonna cut my heel questions just 2 because we kind of hit 2 of the topics. So I'm actually going to say 1 because we haven't talked negative about this team too much. So Trevor, you are going to be the only one today that gets my heel question. Are you ready?
Okay.
So it was a close and quote unquote moral victory, but really was it? So time and time again, since you can say as far as 2019, this team has found ways to lose big games over and over and over again, whether it's from penalties, from drops, from lazy footwork, Keyshawn Butte, or even just stupid quarterback decision makes. Look at Dallas in 2021, wound up giving up just a straight long overtime drive to lose to freaking Dak Prescott, or Tampa Bay in 2021 with Belichick decided to kick a 56-yard field goal in the rain instead of going for it in 4th and short to beat Tom Brady, or Green Bay in 2022 when we had to go against a backup quarterback and got too conservative at the end, or in Vikings last year when we decided to give up the kick return and lose all momentum. So is this game really a moral victory, or is it just more of the same?
As much as I felt good after the game. Again, I hate losing.
By the way, I get on my own team too. See, I don't get on everybody. It's just me and mine too.
Oh, I know. We know. Like for me, again, when we lost the game, I felt good about it for the first time in a while, though. But I don't like to lose at the end of the day. The game was winnable again, but a lot of questionable coaching decisions in that game against Philadelphia, where instead of kicking the field goal on 4th and 3, you go for it and then it doesn't convert. I thought it was stupid. When instead of on our final play, instead of us having to go for a touchdown, we have to kick the field goal. We're in field goal range. We kick a field goal, win the game 26-20-25. So that's just questionable coaching call right there. But as far as that is concerned, I want to say that it's not the same as before. I mean, we do have an offensive coordinator for once, unlike that debacle we had last year. And last year, a lot of bad losses too. Jesus Christ! But I want to say it's a thing in the past. We keep it moving, but no, screw it. I'm gonna say that. You know what? I think we're gonna be all right. I think we're gonna be okay. I think it's just something that we gotta move on.
There you go, Juan.
Okay. Obviously, I hope you're right. But I will always be the negative Nancy, and I will always have one eyebrow looking. So this game here that we're probably should start covering very soon is going to say a lot about this football team. On to week 2. Burning 5 questions is over for the A.
Nice. Good job.
Right.
Good job.
Great job, baby. We appreciate that there. Let's go right into week 2. Let's jump right into it. We're going to talk about the New York Jets going to Jerry's World in a big game. No Zach Wilson on the center, no Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be America's game of the week. Tough game there. I'm going to go right to Curtis. Your thoughts? What are the keys to the game for the New York Jets to come out victorious? Or what do you think the Dallas is going to take away from the Jets' strength?
Listen, Zach Wilson's not the guy for you. He's already proven he can't read. The thing is, he just can't turn the ball over. You're going to have to run the football, and he's going to have to make a couple of big plays. You got Parsons coming at you. This is a pretty well-rounded offense. They're at home. Your defense is going to do well. It's going to keep it pretty contained, I suppose. But can Zach do enough? Can he not get blasted by Parsons? Can you guys run the football? I don't trust Hackett. I think, to me, Rodgers was talking about how he didn't like cut blocks all off season. Those cut blocks. How do you take Brown, who's 328, and Mekhi Becton, who's 370, and ask him to cut block guys? And they both fail, and you keep calling it. I don't trust Hackett, so I think you're going to lose. And to me, I would go get Matt Ryan. I would. I thought he did pretty good with the Colts the last year. I still think he's got something in him. He's way more than Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, at this stage, there's nothing going upstairs really. And then even if he goes down, what do you got? What are you going to go to? Going to call grandma or something? So to me, you get Matt Ryan in here. So I think you're going to lose. I think it's going to be pretty handy. They're going to lose handily. But if they can not get to turn the ball over and run the football, it could be close, and you never know. But I just don't see how they can really win.
All right. Tommy, your thoughts there for the Jets' key to victory, or do you know you see key to victory?
No, I don't. To piggyback off Curtis, I just your problems now at quarterback, and your problem was at quarterback last season. That's the whole reason we went out and got Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they knew last season at the end of the season that Zach Wilson was a bad selection. They needed to make up for it. They went out and got obviously a future Hall of Fame quarterback. But these things happen, and he got hurt, and now you're stuck with Zach Wilson. But there is options out there if the Jets feel like this is a playoff team, but they need to have maybe a better quarterback that's smarter, that can read a defense. And listen, there is some options out there. Matt Ryan, there's Wentz, even though I hate Wentz, but he would still be a better option, in my opinion, than Zach Wilson. You also got who's the other guy that's out? There's another quarterback that's out there. The former Foles,
Jameis
Winston would, now mind you, turnovers, but I still would take him over what you got now. So the problem is, I think what's going to happen is you guys are going to ride with Wilson for a few more games to see what he does, and then you'll probably make your decision on the quarterback. I don't think you'll make it right away, but this game, I just think Dallas being at home, their defense is absolutely electric, just like yours. But they are going to get after Wilson, and they're going to make life miserable for him. The only way you have an opportunity to win this game is if your running game goes off. You guys control the clock, you control the time, possession. You keep Dallas off the field as long as you can, as far as scoring wise, and you guys just win an ugly game. But I don't see that happening. I see turnovers in this game, primarily for Dallas. I think Dallas is going to get the ball from Wilson. Probably a few interceptions, maybe even possible fumble, because how they get after the quarterback. So that leads to the Dallas being good and having good probably field position in this game because of the turnover. So I just think Dallas wins this game. I just don't think the Jets have enough firepower in offense, and it's basically the quarterback. That's it. It boils down to quarterback.
All right, I'm gonna go to Juan. Do you agree or disagree with the Jets going down to Dallas and losing, or do you see them coming out and upset? It's a 9-point spread.
Okay, that spread is pretty damn big. But it's understandable as to why. Again, like Curtis and Matami said, you have a quarterback problem. We've seen him play before. We know what he is. But the other side of it is that we just came off a season where if Dak Prescott did not miss 4 games, he may have been the one leading the league of turnovers instead of somebody else. So we have not seen the Dallas offense really do anything last week because they may as well have not been there because the Giants laid such a gigantic egg. So if there is a chance for the New York Jets to somehow steal this game away, it would have to be in a completely similar fashion as to Monday night, where Dak Prescott lays a complete egg yet again, where Dallas has to find a way to shut down Tony Pollard and make Dak Prescott throw to your coverages. This is the only possible way. Because even with that, let's say if your running backs kill, let's say if you guys get a push and run the ball, as long as that quarterback is there, you're not going to be able to outscore. You will have to find a way to get turnovers on Dak Prescott. I think that's your only chance of winning this game. My score is going to be 24-14 Dallas, but I think your defense is really going to smother Dallas's offense for the majority of the game. But since you won't be able to outscore, they'll find a way to hit 24. Maybe 7 of those 24 points will come off of maybe a strip sack or something from Micah Parsons, something like that. The defense will probably contribute to those 24 points, but your defense is going to keep you in this game for the majority of the contest.
All right, I'm gonna go to Chef Dan, but Chef Dan's got a little bit of segment here that we like to say. It's the Chef's Corner.
Damn.
And Chef Dan, give me your Chef Dan's Corner.
Yeah, thank you for introducing me, and I'd also like to thank the NFL for giving us 2 Iron Chef matchups that are happening this weekend. We're going to have the Raiders defense and the Jets defense versus Josh Allen and Dak Prescott, 2 impressive bakers who are known for handing out fresh turnovers. So we're happy to have that matchup. Those 2 matchups are too sweet to miss. Back to you, Jedi.
All right, thank you, Chef Dan. I appreciate that. And that's the Chef's Corner. Michelin star Chef Dan, by the way. He has a Michelin star in his resume, so absolutely. Now, Chef, you saw the game there. You saw Zach Wilson. You know, I'm going to give this here. Wilson has now a week of practice. He knows he's going to get in the game. He's got to show improvement from last season. You know, maybe Nicole Hartman might play as well and so forth. Another week with Dalvin Cook, knowing the blocking schemes, et cetera, Do you see the Jets going into Dallas and possibly winning? You know, Jets are 7-0 against they have a 7-game winning streak against the Cowboys.
It's gonna be an uphill battle, a really very treacherous uphill battle. What I'm looking at to see right now is that I know that for us, Mekhi Becton and Dwayne Brown are both questionable with shoulder injuries. So if they play, what I expect is that Micah Parsons is primarily going to line up on the tackles on the outside. If that's the case, then that gives the Jets an opportunity to run in between the tackles with the guards. Another thing they're going to have to do, and I know it sucks because it puts Zach Wilson under a lot of potential for danger, is that going to have a lot of QB sneaks, a lot of QB runs are going to have to be added in there. You're going to have to target the tight end a lot more, and we're going to have to see Garrett Wilson a lot more in the slot. Like they sort of went to that during the Bills game, and that was how Garrett Wilson was able to get the lone touchdown in that game against the Bills. But you got to learn to exploit that more. Those are the avenues I see that the Jets could possibly come up with, making this a fight and making this a victory for them.
Hey, Trevor didn't go, Kev.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's what I was going to. Trevor's
okay, my bad. I thought you.
I didn't want to go back to back.
No, you're good. You're good.
I wanted to give everyone.
I got you. Okay.
I thought.
So just to let you know, like that's.
I was about to get Curtis after you.
After Trevor,
you got it, bro. You know what you're doing. Apologize, bro.
I almost had to get Curtis after you, man.
All right, so Trevor, 7-0 against the Dallas Cowboys. Your thoughts on this game here? I know it's an uphill climb there, like you said, especially if the offensive line hurt with Micah Parsons correct a game. What's your thought there? Give me your opinion, your thought, your floor, Juice.
Bias aside, I think this game is going to be a lot closer than we think. I think that, again, it's all about because think about it, again, Dak Prescott is kind of questionable as well. So I do feel that, yes, I know that an uphill battle for the Jets as far as can the offensive line be able to contain Michael Parsons and company on that line, because they can get to the quarterback line blitzing, which is scary. And so what can they do to combat that? I'm sorry, but Dallas, I'm not gonna say Dak Prescott. Again, we see him play before and against a really good defense. Can he able to combat that as well? I think it'll be a very ugly game. I'm picking Dallas to win this game very, very, very barely. I think the Jets are gonna fight it to the end, but overall, I think the kicker pretty much ends the game. And I think 19-14 Dallas. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout.
All right, Curtis, I'm gonna give you the floor there. This game, your thoughts. What do you 7-0 again? The same question. 7-0 against the Cowboys. It is the Dallas home opener, and but what I'm seeing, the Jet fans are going in droves to Jerry's World. My goodness, they are traveling, and they. Your thoughts? Are they going to be disappointed on that road trip?
Yeah, I actually, I said how I kind of thought the game was going to play out. I think I was the first guy actually.
Curtis went first.
Yeah, I think you're going to lose a close. I think it's going to be a close one.
Give me a score.
Oh man, I hate it. 20. Let's see, 14 to 24-14.
All right,
that's what I have.
Let's go.
I had the same score.
Yep.
Of course, I have a little bit of a little Canadian whiskey in me here, but I'm gonna go with the opposite from everyone. I'm taking the New York Jets. They will go on the road there. They're going to spoil Jerry's World's open.
I'm not gonna mind if you do that. It'll be so damn funny to the Cowboys choke like that. I'm not gonna lie. So I mean, I wouldn't mind.
I don't mind doing all either. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Because the hot turnovers will be coming. Remember, listen, the Cowboys offense did not do nothing. They didn't really have to play much. I hate Chef. I know you're a Giant fan, and we're Giant fans here as well. But they didn't do nothing against the Giants. They didn't have an opportunity. So we didn't really see the great Mike McCarthy, the offensive genius that's going to turn over the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to take them to the Super Bowl. I don't believe in the Cowboys. You know, I don't think Potter's going to run the football. CeeDee Lamb is going to get sauce all over him that he's not even going to have a chance to breathe. Now, the one thing I'm going to give a little bit of edge to the Cowboys is on the tight end. I like Jets going into Dallas, and I think they're going to win. They're going to win, and they look for them to score on the special teams. I told Chef Dan before my power went off, before I could say any words, I said Gibson is going to be special. I said it, and the video is there. You can look at the watch along before my power went out. I said, be careful with Gibson. He's going to be special because I got that. I got a Jedi mind trick. I even got Tommy talking negative about the Bills. He said he was a homer, and now with my Jedi mind trick, I got him change coming over to the dark side. So Jets win. Jets go into Dallas. They spoil the Jerry World. They win the game. I'm gonna go Jets 28, Dallas 17. Book it.
I'm definitely not a homer, by the way, and I've always been very truthful when it comes to this team. So definitely not a homer, and you guys aren't winning.
Hey, that's why Rodgers came.
At the end of the day, we'll see who. Like I said, long season, buddy. And I know you guys are feeling yourselves after week 1, but I'm gonna have your tissue box ready for you on week 18. All right.
I hope you don't use Jergens because that's not.
Hey, whatever helps, man. Whatever helps.
All right, let's move on to prime time game. Yes. Divisional rivals. This is juicy because I get to sit back. I don't have to watch along on screen, on camera. I can sit back on my couch with my snacks, be spectator to see the New England Patriots take on the Miami Dolphins in New England. This is going to be a hell of a game. I'm excited believe it or not, to see these rivals go. I have a lot of respect for Bill Belichick, and also I don't like the Dolphins. Tommy, this is we and you are going to sit back with our feet up. Hopefully we get victories because we're coming to your game last because we want to give you the floor here. What's your thoughts on this Monday night, on the showdown on prime time between these two rivals?
Oh, man. This is going to be a tough task for the Dolphins. I think the Patriots defense is going to wake them up from what they were, that easy passing that they had last week. They're, no defense Chargers. They're going to see a totally different team, and that they better hope they have a different game plan going in because it's not going to be what they saw week 1 against the Patriots. Bill Belichick knows how to read offenses. He's done this forever. He's always kept them close. Look at last year against the Dolphins. Very good games. Very good games. He's going to keep that team close. I think it's a damn close game. I think this is not a high-scoring game. I don't think the Dolphins are going to crack 30. I think this is going to be something like – God, this is tough, man. I think it's going to be something like 21-17 Dolphins, but I don't know, man. This could, once again, I'll say what I said last week. I wouldn't be shocked if the Patriots win 21-17. It's going to be one of those games, man. And I think the Dolphins are in for a real test going into New England, playing a very good defense against a coach who knows how to game plan properly versus quarterbacks, especially versus younger quarterbacks. But yeah.
I'm going to give you guys the order I'm going to call you guys so you guys know. I'm going to go to Trevor, Chef Dan, Juan, Curtis, and then myself, all right? Just to let you guys know so I don't think we didn't have that from last segment. So, Trevor, you're New England Patriots on prime time coming off that moral game, feel-good game, and a loss, going over without going over. What's your thoughts? What are your keys for the victory for your Patriots to win on prime time?
My keys to the victory to win is to slow down Tyreek Hill. Yes, he went off on on the Chargers because the Chargers defensive coordinator / head coach is an idiot. He doesn't know how to do anything. But still here or there. He's not doing that against this Patriots defense. I'll tell you that much. We're gonna find a way to slow him down a little bit. Again, if our offensive line is able to play well as they did last week, and then this week, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll run the ball better. Ramondre Stevenson should be back much more healthier now. He was sick last game. Didn't get a lot of touches though, but I think he'll be able to run the ball a lot more. And I'm going to go with New England winning this game 23-20. I feel that if we're able to slow down Tyreek Hill and we're able to run the ball and make good plays in offensive line, if we play well, I think we'll be able to win this game.
All right. Chef Dan, we're seeing that New England is at home 2 games in a row. Dolphins had to go to the West Coast, then travel back east, then back up north. Is there going to be your thoughts on the game? You think that travel is going to interfere with the Dolphins this night?
It may not. I don't want it to be the sole reason, but with this Patriots defense, I think this is the time that Tua Tagovailoa gets tested. And the first test doesn't actually happen to him. I think it happens with that offensive line. I think that offensive line gets tested. I think Tua's durability gets tested in this game. And it's not going to happen early, but it's going to – I feel it because it's Belichick, and it always happens with him. At some point, he's going to throw in an exotic coverage that Tua's not too familiar with, and he may throw an interception. From there, if Tua hesitates on the next time, that's when they're going to test his durability. And from that may turn it into an ugly game.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be an ugly game completely overall with that. And low scoring, very low scoring, 17-14, maybe even 13-10. I don't see any team reaching above 20 points.
Wow.
Damn.
All right, defensive battle there. Juan, you agree or disagree with the score, and Your thoughts of them bringing? You're at home for 2 games in a row. They're growing cross country. Your thoughts and your keys for your Patriots to come out victorious.
Well, for the travel part, since it's Sunday night, they'll have a little bit extra time to really gather themselves before the game, so that's good for them. The score, I think, be a little higher than that, but the fact that it's going to be low scoring, at least for the NFL standards, I believe that's definitely going to be a fact. But there is one thing that scares the living crap out of me as a Patriots fan. Before Wednesday, I was very confident in Patriots taking this game. But this offense we might as well have a hospital plus sign above everybody's head because we have so many freaking injuries in the offense coming up. It's insane. We're probably not going to have our starting left tackle, Trevor Brown, because he got concussed last game. And you know, the NFL lost so much money over concussions the last 10 years. They're not playing that. He's most likely not going to play. City Soul, the other rookie that played on the right-hand side, also got a concussion. So there's a big chance he's not going to play also. So that's one starter and a backup who played okay. That's going to be gone. David Andrews was also listed, I believe, with a hamstring injury coming into this game. So there is a small chance, but he's most likely going to play, but he might be limited. I'm not sure. Strange may come back to play. I don't know yet. We'll find out tomorrow. And on when who has practice, we'll see. But there is a high chance that we're going to be missing 4 out of 5 starters coming into this game, which scares the living crap out of me. Not also including Devontae Parker still might not play with the knee thing. Juju's knee is like destroyed, so he can't even get off the line of scrimmage right. So he may be benched because he can't run. So we have no one of our starters, nobody may play in this game. So that is what completely swayed me. Now I don't really know who to pick in this game, just off the fact that we may not have any of our starters playing. That's horrific. And I know the Chargers ran for almost 250 on them last week. Some of that has to do with the Fangio defense that usually lets that go, and some of that is the fact that the front seven isn't all the best in Miami. They're good, but they're not like the rest of ours. I think all of our front sevens are better. So I don't know if we're going to be able to run under the way I would like to because we may not have the linemen to get a push. So that's what is scaring me. Bill O'Brien is going to have to figure out a scheme to get the ball out quick. And the kids and Demario Douglas, who played good last week with his limited snaps, he may have to play a bigger role because of this. Kendrick Bourne, hopefully he got his dropsies out the way. He's going to play a even bigger role. And Gesicki has to get way more involved now. That has to happen. On the other side of the table, the X factor to me this entire game is the Patriots defensive line. They're not the Chargers. That's what everybody said here. The Patriots are not the Chargers. They're going to see a completely different defensive game plan. I don't think we had a single coverage last week that wound up being that coverage when the ball was snapped against Philly. Tua's gonna, I hope he reads at a college level on football because he's going to need that against this defense here. This team is also known for slowing down, not stopping, but slowing down Tyreek Hill better than almost anybody else. However, Jonathan Jones is usually the primary guy who we use, is also on the injury report with a messed up ankle. So we may a possibility we won't have our quote unquote Tyreek Hill stopper. So this injury bug is wild on this team. So when my confidence was at like a 98%, now it's at like a 65%. I don't know if we're going to win this game. I'm going to be a positive Patriots fan and say we are going to take this game 20-17. But with all these injuries in here, I'm not entirely confident. It's all up to our defensive line because I promise you we're going to get way more pressure on Tua than the Chargers did. I promise you that.
All right. Oh boy, what it tells me that Lincoln Hospital is really busy with a lot of Patriots over there, huh?
And
by Lincoln que va. That's the joke, the Bronx joke, by the way. So, or you prefer them going to Lebanon?
Yeah.
I was born there.
Curtis.
Baby, bring them there, please. Enough New York. Let's go on with it.
Curtis, I'm gonna go with you here. Your Dolphins. A lot of injuries for the Miami Dolphins, for the New England Patriots. Are you salivating at that aspect, or this is a better defense? You're a 3 point road favorite. Is that something where you want to see your Dolphins play as a favorite on the road, or does that concern you?
Yeah, it concerns me because they always like to hype up the Dolphins. I mean, they always overhype the Dolphins because they're their pinata. The media likes to beat up and then beat down. Now, I would have said the Patriots would probably have won if they were healthy, but Jonathan Jones is a huge, huge loss if he's not in. And then the offensive line. I don't think you're going to win if Jones is out and the offensive line's gutted. Because Tehran might play too. And if Tehran plays, like to me, I was watching White. And he has a little bit of moves on, but it's mostly power. And if Tehran's in there, he's going to shut him down. He's going to shut. But if Tehran's not in and they got Lamb, White's going to obliterate him or Jackson. That means he can flip-flop and get pressure from each side. And so it depends on who's going to be in. This game is so wild because Jalen Phillips got a back injury on Friday, and then they called up Chase Winovich, which means he's probably not going to play. And so that's a hit, I think it's a certain hit that he's not playing. And, he's not good to run stop, but he's really good at the pass rush. And so I don't think he's going to be in. So I don't know who's going to be in for the Patriots. To me, the biggest thing is Onwenu and Jonathan Jones. If those two guys are in, I think it's going to be a really good game. I don't know if Tehran's going to be in. I think Tua's not going to get the easy reads. This is going to be a clutch kind of game. We're going to have to be patient. Dolphins going to have to run, but they know when he's playing left guard and he's got no power. Connor's susceptible to power. Lamb, if he's in, he's susceptible to power. And so is Jackson. And so I just don't know the Dolphins are going to be able to overcome it. But if Jonathan Jones is not in there and they can sit in 3 wide receiver sets with Berrios and Hill and Waddle, all it takes is a couple of little plays to get those big explosive plays. And I do trust Fangio to mitigate O'Brien with no offensive line. And so to me, it really comes down. Is Onwenu in and is Jones in? If that's the case, I think it will be a good game, and it's going to come down to who's going to make the bigger plays. So it's just such a tough game to call right now. But if the Patriots are full, like these are all questionables and they're all in there and Phillips is out and Tehran doesn't show up, I think the Patriots win. But they're going to have Onwenu. They're going to have Jones, and Tehran's not going to play. So it's this mixed bag. So let's say that I think Jones is going to play. I think they sat him on Friday because they knew they got the extra time, 7:00 start. I think he's going to play. I think Onwenu's going to play. I'm not sure if Strange is going to play. I don't think Trent Brown's going to play, and I don't think Tehran's going to play. If that's the case, I think the Dolphins I want to pick them, but it's going to be nice weather too. It's not going to be ugly weather, but that front is going to be really tough. And Tua's going to have to make. I don't know, man. I'm really having a hard time because I can't. It is a tough one. I want to call the Dolphins, but this is tough. I think it's going to be a 6-point game swing either way. I just can't call it. So I think it's going to be like 20. I don't know, man. I'm bad with the calls. I think it's going to be 6.
Combined score. Then give me combined score. I think the
Patriots. I think the Dolphins could get about maybe 24, or they'll end up with like 20, and the Patriots. I don't know. It's going to be tough, man. Because if Jones is in there, Tyreek Hill will be neutralized. And if they can neutralize him, they can get to Tua. So I just don't. If Tehran's in, though, it changes things. So I keep going back and forth. I don't know.
Vegas like that 46 and a half total
I'm bad with this,
That's
man.
a lot of points, in my opinion.
I don't think they reach out.
I'll have to go with the Dolphins winning. I'll say the Dolphins win by 6. They'll get 24, and the Patriots will get 17. I don't know. Though. To me, it's just really so curious. The Patriots with Jones and with a healthy offensive line would just I don't know. I'm terrible on this one, guys. I want to be a homer. Inside, I'm screaming, going, "Be a homer." I just don't know if I feel it.
That's no problem. I'm gonna make this real quick. I think Miami wins. Miami goes 2-0. They go out there, New England. Sorry, New England. I'm giving you a lot of flowers, but I think with all that injury bug and all that bugaboo, Belichick likes to say a lot of their players always end up on the injured list and they end up playing. But I still think Miami wins. I think Tyreek Hill is just too fast. The team is fast, and the Patriots get faster this season. But I don't know. That's going to be a good test there. But I think Miami wins this one. I'm going to go 27-10. I hate to say that my Dolphins win.
I like your prediction.
I promise you. I'm not getting 10 points. We're getting more than that. I promise you that. We're not getting held 10 points.
Man. I think so. I think they're going to be
losing and winning is different, but we're not getting held 10 points. I swear. That's not happening.
All right. So we're going to get to the final one. Right now it's pumpkin season. Every pumpkin this, pumpkin that, pumpkin this, and the Buffalo Bills got a nice squash of the Raiders coming in. It's a home opener in Buffalo. Buffalo's going to bring in, and they're pissed off. They got embarrassed. XYZ. The Raiders just squeak out a victory. Tommy, give me the keys. Are you going to be eating pumpkin pancakes or pumpkin buffalo wings? Let's go.
Yeah, they're paying the price, man. We're going to bounce back. It's at home opener against the Raiders. They don't listen. They got a couple weapons on offense that one of them they didn't even use last week, which is Jacobs. Adams, their other receiver who had a good game, I forget his name, is out for the game. Yeah, he's out for the game, so that's a huge loss for them. And then they got Crosby, who's an absolute stud, but that's really it on defense on their line. You contain Crosby, which we will because we'll probably wind up doubling him or bringing a tight end to help out. This is a good bounce back win for the Buffalo Bills. I think we get back on track at home. Bills Mafia is going to be going crazy, and I think Josh steps up and I don't think he has the turnovers like he did against the Jets. It's a little bit of a different defense you're going against. I don't think the Raiders are that bad on defense, but they're nowhere near what the Jets have on the line. And I think this is an opportunity for them to correct some wrongs. And this is the game to do it if you're going to do it. And I think the Bills wind up winning 35-13. I think this is a squash. And by the way, Jimmy G, believe it or not, has a winning record, but he's just he's a pocket passer who holds the ball a lot, and he's going to get some hits on him by this defense. By the way, this defense that is a more aggressive defense, which you saw in week 1, we were getting after the Jets quarterback's pretty good there. And I think Floyd and Rousseau is going to get after Jimmy G to cause some havoc. The only way the Raiders have a chance if they run Josh Jacobs and get that run game going, something they didn't do last week, and the Bills have no answer. But I think they'll test this early with Josh Jacobs, and then if that doesn't work out, they'll go to Jimmy G, and that's where their downfall will be. So I think the Bills take care of business at home.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna change a little bit of the sequence. I'm gonna go to Juan, Dan, Curtis, and Trevor. So that's how we're gonna go with this one here. So Juan, it's all you right there. Pumpkin season. Is this a squash matchup? Feel good, get right for the Bills? Or you think, pump the brakes? The Raiders might cause a little bit of a hiccup, a little scare there.
My favorite character to play is the heel, but I'm also not a liar. I love Tommy's score, 35-13. That's perfect. Especially without Jacoby Myers, that's a problem. They only have one receiver to really throw to. The order for them to have a chance is that they have to get Josh Jacobs unleashed and keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands. That's the only possible way that they have a chance to win. If they don't do that, they're getting absolutely mopped the floor. And I know Bills may not be the team that is known for a crazy good home field advantage, at least late in the year, but in September, do you see how that building roars? I remember the Pittsburgh game last year. Lord have mercy, that mother trucking stadium was going wild and bonkers in that game. And Pickett had no shot. So something like that is most likely going to happen. They're after going through a loss like that and last Monday, their fans are going to be going crazy in that stadium. The Raiders to me have no shot. As good as Max Crosby is, and Devon Diablo, their safety linebacker hybrid, played really good against Denver, but that ain't gonna fly. I love 35-13 for the Bills, easily covering the spread.
All right. Dan, is the Raiders going to get put through a table?
Yeah. Congratulations to the Raiders. They beat the Broncos in week 1. But in the same note, it's the Broncos who's coming off of like a funky year themselves. So they have a lot of getting right to do. You asked me if I believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. No, I do not. If anything, I don't wish it. But same thing I said with, in regards to Miami and the Patriots, like I see the Bills finding some way, somehow putting Garoppolo on his butt, and he's going to be out for a couple of weeks because Garoppolo, he's a bit delicate.
Hey, you gave me a final score? What was your final score?
Final score? Yeesh. I would say Bills 28, Raiders 14.
All right. So we're gonna go to Curtis here. The Raiders get right game. Raiders for the Bills will be a get right game against those Raiders. Do you believe in Jimmy G? And your thoughts in this game?
Jimmy G's good when you got the San Francisco 49ers, but not when you got the Raiders. To me, I think that I got a good score for this one. I felt like 27-13. And the reason I say 27 is because if the Bills aren't running the football, it's bad for them long term. If they come out and play, fun ball, go deep, Allen thing, and it's just more of the same, tripling down. Yeah, they might get to the 35, but I think it's terrible for the long-term prognosis. I'm expecting they have some kind of sanity and run the football somewhat, and then you add Jacobs running the football. That should cut the game down to a shorter game where you can't put those many points up. But I don't think there's any way the Raiders win. Their offensive line is not hard to try. The defense is not hard to try. They're still in rebuild mode. So yeah, Bills are gonna take this pretty easily. But if they don't come out under center and start establishing some kind of coherent game plan for Allen, then I think whatever score they win by, it's worthless. So
I'll tell you what, real quick note. I really wish they would run Murray more in this game. I want them to showcase Murray a little bit. I know he's an aging vet. I still think Murray has some game left in him. I think he has some juice. No, not draws. I'm talking about under the center. Murray still has some juice in him, guys. He's a 6'3" big back man. I really would like to see him more because Cook can't run. He can't shed off tackles like a Murray would, or Harris even. Either one. I really wish they give them more of an opportunity. That's what I want to see this Sunday. More of a running attack with those two guys involved. Sorry.
All right, no, let's go with Trevor. Trevor, your thoughts there with this game for the Bill Mafia? They're going to feel good. They're going to feel great against these Raiders who are an 8-point underdog on the road. What's your thoughts there? Are you eating pumpkin, or you think there's going to be a crow on our faces come next week?
I know Tommy said he's not going to eat no buffalo wings for the game. I think he'll take this one, but
nope, not happening.
The Buffalo Bills are going to win this game very handily. I don't see how this Raiders defense can able to stop. Even like I said, this Buffalo Bills offense. I don't see it all happening. I think it's a get right game for them, and the crowd will be behind them. I just think it's going to be an easy game. I have Buffalo winning 30-7.
Wow. Nice. All right. Hope you hit that on that's a major squash, a pumpkin squash right there. It's the season for it. I don't see the Raiders winning either. I think they're going to put up 37 points, man. And it's going to be 37-17. I think Buffalo wins big, man, at home. That Mafia group, that crowd is going to go nuts. And that's going to be a wild scene there in Orchard Park there. So We come to the final segment of the program here, and we know that this is a segment that has been a staple to the program. And ladies and gentlemen, we introduce to you Trevor's time to rant. Please, once again, if you're in the chat, please copy and paste. Please support on everyone's channel, from Bill's Mafia for the Mafia Sports Report as well, all the way down to Captain D and Curtis and Ace of Head as well. I said Captain D first because we wanted to shout him out. He's not here as well here as the Sports Dynasty Network. So we thank you guys so much there. The floor is yours, Mr. Trevor. Let me give you a rant. Everyone's gonna get a rant, but you lead it off. You're the captain here. Go for it. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, pal. You're muted. Muted.
There's my rant.
Yeah.
My bad. All right. So I know since most of us are New Yorkers, me, Juan, and Kev, we're New Yorkers. So
Dan.
I noticed that. Anyway, so this is weird. Anyway, so I noticed that in every sport we have like the New York effect. So last year the Giants were good last year, made the playoffs last year, and the NFL rewarded them with 5 primetime games. And do you know what the Giants did on their first primetime game? Get the living shit kicked out of them in front of the whole crowd. It was so bad. It was so bad that Mother Nature was like, I'm gonna rain on this motherfucker so hard so we can get out of here. And even then, they couldn't even do that. Why do we constantly reward these big market teams, these big markets, with national TV coverage? And a lot of times, especially in New York, a lot of time it's this very. And I understand to give the Jets 5 primetime games because of Aaron Rodgers. He's not there no more. So you're gonna have the Chiefs and Zach Wilson on Sunday Night Football in 4 weeks from now. Boring. You get the Giants on primetime on Thursday Night Football against the 49ers. Did you see what the 49ers did to the Steelers last week? Really? So there's gonna be 2 primetime games for the Giants when they get their ass kicked. Who wants to see that? I know New York's a big market. I'm tired of it, but we need to see you have better matchups on prime time, not this garbage. Now, luckily the Jets, they won on Monday Night Football against the Bills. That's good. That's it. But why the Giants have 5 primetime games? For what? Why do I want to see the Giants 5 times on prime time? No, I don't. Do you want to see it? No, you don't. Maybe Giant fans, maybe. I don't know. That's my rant today.
That's the rant of the day. All right. Well done. I'm gonna go to Chef Dan because there's a lot of a little bit shots taken towards Mr. Chef Dan, who is my resident Giant fan on the channel. Chef Dan, the floor is yours with the crack. What is your rant? You could rebuttal to that, or you could have another rant as well. And again, the floor is yours, Chef Dan. This one went to you there.
You get primetime games when you win games and you go to the playoffs. Something you're just not used to. You're just not used to because you was too busy just losing last year, and you're probably going to lose this year. A blip on the radar, and we get that. But then again, from a Patriots fan, from you specifically, a Patriots fan. Ooh, I get the vitriol. I understand why. Could someone say 17-1? Could someone say not perfect? Who is Bill Belichick's father?
Man, Trevor.
What the hell does that have to do with this?
Yeah, are we still arguing on 15 years ago? Like, really? That's what we doing?
And that's why y'all shouldn't get any primetime games because you keep bringing that shit up. That's exactly, you proved his point just now.
Ooh, someone got a nerve. Someone's got nerves there. But Chef Dan, anything else you want to rant other than that? I mean, before I go over to Tommy.
Nah, football is back and I love it. I freaking love it. Football is back. How could you not? We were gone. Football's been gone for so long, and we're right back into week 1, going into week 2. It's absolutely lovely. We just had a Thursday night game with Eagles.
We're back in paradise.
Like we're back in paradise. Like it's The script writers are back writing their scripts as flawlessly as ever. I mean, how could you not love it?
All right. Let's go, Mr. Tommy. Yo, Tommy, you got a rant for me, Tommy?
Hey, how you doing over there? Forget about it. Hey, so now listen. I got a bit of a rant. Our team reporters or anybody that reports on any team in general, or if you're an owner of a team or anything, there's a thing called a hot mic usually when you're in front of media or you're out somewhere. You got to be really careful what you say.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Our team reporter, by the way, not just a reporter, a team reporter who's hired by the Buffalo Bills, was caught on a hot mic at a press conference jokingly. Now, I will say, I think it wasn't meant in like a really negative way. I think she was kind of playing around, but she said Stephon Diggs says F you to her face, and he'll say that to anyone's face. So wasn't a good look. Then she went and apologized the same day, saying Diggs is cool and he jokes around with them all the time like that, but it came off wrong and he knows that. And then Diggs the next day said, yo, that is not my character. I don't know what the hell this lady's talking about. Not a good look by the team reporter who, and by the way, real quick, a lot of Bills Mafia is torn on this. They're 50-50, which is unbelievable. So half of Bills Mafia is like, good, glad that she called out Stephon Diggs. That guy's an a-hole. First of all, how do you know that he's like that with reporters? I've spoken to reporters that said Diggs is nothing but friendly to them. So you don't know that for a fact. Two, she apologized and said she was joking. So clearly she didn't mean it, but it came off wrong. Then you got the other side saying she should be fired. I don't know. But I will say this. For her being a team representative, a team reporter who goes in and does all the player interviews, does all the interviews with the players' families, all that good stuff, no player in that locker room is going to trust this lady moving forward because they're all going to think the same thing. This lady is back talking about me behind my back. Who knows what she said about me, about my family. It's a bigger issue than Stephon Diggs, and I think Bills Mafia is totally missing that. This has nothing to do with just Stephon Diggs. This has to do with a team reporter hired by the team because they feel like she's safe around the players. That's the whole point. Like, they know they're not hiring somebody that is shady. Like, she's there to be, to do all the safe interviews, like I said, and do all the nice little, cool little videos they do. And if a player can't trust her, they're never going to be comfortable around this lady. So I feel bad for her. It was a dumb mistake, but she's probably going to lose her job. And if she doesn't, I think that's a bad mistake. I got to be real with you. I think it's a bad mistake by ownership because now these players are going to be like, I don't want to deal with this lady. And every interview I see going forward with this lady, with the players, is going to be fake as hell. I'm going to know that player across from her is going to be like, I hate this lady. Get this lady out of my face, but I got to do it. So I just think people in general, if you're in a high position at any job, watch what the hell you say, because in these days and age,
yep.
right,
I'm right with you.
You are on a hot mic. Or just be careful what you say in general, even if it's joking, because I took it as she was joking. But once again, that's me. I'm not Stephon Diggs. I'm not the players in the locker room. Big mistake. And I think she's going to wind up, it's going to cost her a job. I really believe that. And if it doesn't, it's a mistake on the Bills' part. That's it.
All right. That's your rant. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave you one for last. I think you got something spicy. Something tells me, that New York. Yeah, I think you got a spicy rant. I'm gonna go with Curtis.
No, Juan got nothing.
I don't actually.
Juan got nothing.
This is my worst thing by far. I have to be
Juan
pissed off to give you one, so I don't have one. My bad.
Now, once in a blue moon, Juan will come up with a good one, but nope.
Okay,
Curtis, you got one?
Right, so Curtis,
guys,
you got a rant?
I don't have a rant, but I want to just kind of respond to Tommy. It's funny that Diggs can yell at his quarterback after the game, carry on like a maniac, disappear in the offseason, say, hey, big guy, you're just capping, do his whole routine, not show up to camp. And then he wants all the fans to be like, well, it's all right. The teammates say, well, that's all right. But then, reported, maybe she was serious, maybe she was joking, but then she gets the axe. It shows, Diggs could be a real guy and say, hey, you know what? Grace is not just for the big, it's for the small. Don't fire this lady. It happens, whatever. Come out and be a man. But if she gets fired, it just shows that, you know what? You chop the little guy off and you let the big fish open his yacht because he's the big fish. So I think it would be a little bit of hypocrisy. But that's pretty much standard quo for the NFL, I suppose, or most places. So that's my 2 cents.
But yeah, I just think it's bigger than Diggs. Curtis. I think that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think this is if this was just a regular reporter, like I said earlier, I would think, I don't think this is even a big deal at all. But I think because it's a team reporter,
well, if she was joking, then
yes, but you don't know that. That's the problem. You're reading between the lines.
If she wasn't joking, was Diggs yelling at Allen at the game? Was Diggs
but you don't know that. You don't. Yeah, but you don't know what he would. We don't know what was said on the sideline. 1, 2. We know what she said. It's on audio, right? It's not on audio what Diggs said to Allen. He could have been saying, "Fuck what Dorsey's doing. Just fucking play your game." You don't know. I have no idea what he said to Allen. But I know what this lady said, and the problem is, I think she was joking. But the problem is, Curtis, like I said, you got 53 guys in that locker room who trust people that are hired by the Buffalo Bills to do their job, to be safe, to protect them. And if she's back there saying, oh, this guy said fuck you to my face, and he's going to say she's a female, so it looks bad on Diggs, even if people – and by the way, you got people thinking it's true. Because you got, like I said earlier, you got people going, you don't know. But exactly. See, Curtis, you think it's true, but maybe it's not. Maybe she was joking and she didn't mean it. And maybe he doesn't say that. That's the problem. You see? That's my point. Because you think right now, yeah, Diggs is a fucking asshole.
No,
I can definitely see him.
I think that
right.
The only reason I think
I understand exactly what you're both saying.
Jackass. If he had
I agree.
If somebody said that about Josh Allen, everybody would know, he's joking. What is she talking about? But everyone's like, oh, yeah, it fits the bill of his character for the last year. You know what I mean?
But you know what's funny? And we'll move on. He did a video when he played for the Vikings, a team video, Curtis. A team video. You know what those are? Those are funny, quirky videos. Yeah. They had players interview and say, who would you not want to date your sister? Everyone says Stephon Diggs. It was a funny video. I got a message saying, you see, even players Diggs doesn't even want to date their sister. And I'm like, what are you talking? It's a joking video. So now everyone thinks Diggs is this ultimate asshole. I'm just saying, you believe it, but now it makes it worse. You understand? Even if she was joking. But I will say this, Curtis. I will say this. I know reporters. I've talked. I know, but I've talked to. Okay, I get that, but you're talking about different things. I've talked to reporters. They've said nothing but good things about Diggs. So just because you see what you see on the field, maybe he is an asshole. Maybe he did get in Josh's face. It doesn't mean that he told this lady to go fuck herself. You're just going on that because you believe what you see on the field. He said the same thing, by the way. In his statement, he said, you may see what you see on the field, but that doesn't mean I'm like that when I talk to people outside of media or people out in the world. That's not what I represent. That's all he said, by the way. He didn't say fire this bitch, but it's up to the ownership to say, hey, do the other players now feel comfortable around this lady who is going around jokingly or not jokingly saying, she's saying, fuck everybody and fuck, get out of my fucking face. I'm just saying, it's not a good look. You got to be careful what you say. That's all I'm saying. I don't care.
No, I understand, but if you got
But I'm just saying as players.
But if you got a guy like Diggs, whatever you say, that's a jackass move. He was a jackass from the end of the playoff.
By the way, I remember what I told you in the offseason. I think Diggs handled everything poorly.
Right.
Very poorly in the offseason. No doubt about it. And I think he definitely he acted like a Madonna. He should have handled that situation way better. But that, once again, this is nothing to do with what he did in the offseason, how he handles himself in front of people, how he talks to media.
Yeah,
she made that statement.
He acted that way in public. He said, this is what I'm saying. She said something in the rear and it got picked up. If I don't know, just my take.
But jokingly, correct? You said
we all said 2 hours and 30 minutes. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go. Go ahead.
Here we go. final set, my rant. Here we go. I've got a rant here. And my rant this week is it has to do with the same thing. It's MetLife Stadium and the Jet fans. My fellow Jet fan. MetLife Stadium, get the hell out of that freaking stadium. That is a terrible stadium for the New York Jets. Their lease is up in 2025. Woody Johnson, instead of buying gold necklaces and ring, trying to be down with the Kings, go and get some freaking land. Go move the team out of that damn horrid stadium. Get their own stadium where we get some grass, where guys aren't going to get hurt. And look, also, my second part of it was when Rodgers go down, the moronic Jet fans, the season started. Oh my God, it's over. The sourpuss face out there. And then when they win, they won't want to celebrate. No. Jet fans, either you're fucking all in or fucking out. You got to be all in. This Jet fan is all in. Let's go. Take flight. The Jets-alorian Podcast. This is the way. We thank you guys. Again, I want to thank everyone on the chat here. I want to thank everyone, all the super chats and a fan that are listening and watching on and gave us that time to join us this evening. We appreciate it. Tommy, I appreciate you allowing me to host, and just came into the door and you allowed me to host here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for allowing me, trusting me, your program on my channel. Again, thank you again. Curtis, thank you for being part and meeting you as well as Juan and Trevor. You guys are awesome.
You guys make the show complete, so thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah. And real quick, Kev, Curtis, it's going to be on Ace per head next week. So let everybody know that.
You got to come in and help me get this tech side upright before 2 days beforehand.
We're in big trouble, guys, next weekend.
I don't know, man. It's a wild card, baby.
If you have not subscribed to any one of ours, go into the channel on the Jedi Network. You're going to see AFC Shakedown partners. You see all their icons. We got to subscribe. We got to get everyone's subscription up. If you like this program, we want to continue in this AFC Shakedown on the Sports Jedi Network. I need the Jedi Nation to go and subscribe to our partners here. We want to make sure that we get them over and keep on going. Hey, the Sports Dynasty, we're gonna get you up there, bro. I'm telling you that we're gonna work with you hand in hand there. We're gonna make you up there, one of the top ones along with Mafia Sports and so forth. Again, I am so humbled to have known you guys and be part of this shakedown, man. This is fun. And to everyone, may the sports be with you. Chef Dan, give me your closing thoughts because you're my closer. Chef Dan is always my closer, and I was just getting out of rhythm there. Close it out, Chef Dan.
Can we hurry this up? I got some ayahuasca to take.
There you go. Good night, everyone.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Where the fun begins.
Are you ready for some football?
Woo, that was a long one, boy. I think that was our longest shakedown.
This is a long one. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
No,
Hey,
my,
it was your first one, man. Hey, later on.
My back is in pain, bro.
I am starving. I am starving right now. This was long.
Yeah, you see me in my salad at the end. I'm like, yo, I can't
normally,
do this.
normally we go about an hour. I did tell you, Kevin. Though sometimes it is what it is, but normally, normally it's about an hour and a half is what the length is. But it is what it is. Sometimes they go a little longer, but
you know why it went long?
But it was your first one, though,
and we had no. It was also week one, and we got
caught up.
About.
We got caught up in conversation. Yeah, we did. Yeah. We talked a lot about like Buffalo. Josh Allen and
hey, that's okay. That's okay.
No, but that's fine. And you go with what it is, man. You go with the flow. I don't like to rush anything, so I always say just let it go how it goes.
No, the beautiful thing too is the beautiful thing with the football season is even though it's so short, every team has its own story it's telling throughout the season.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like. You're essentially guessing how the story is going to go, but you're also saying like, all right, if it takes this turn, things are going to end up really bad. Or if it takes this turn, things are about to get exciting for this team. And each week you always, after a game, you're going, all right, which direction is the team going? So that's the beautiful part.
Oh, yeah.
It's week one because like it's so fresh. You have so many things to look